How's it going, guys? We are here with the third session of the United States Millennium Dawn game. This is currently beginning in 2005. We're 3 years out from the end of the George Bush administration. We'll have to see who wins. It'll either be Barack Obama or John McCain. I have said before, we do not immediately start. God damn it. Anyway, we're going to go ahead and get going. As I said, normally when I do these big RP games, I probably won't have much time to talk with the chat. I do apologize about that. I'm not trying to be an asshole. I just like to focus when I do these big RP games because there's, especially as a big country like the US, there's so much fucking going on, and with a game of like 55 players, you can't really just, you know, take time to do other stuff. Always, you shouldn't be on a major country. So just to start with that. I am going to also be streaming after this. I promised to do the Kaiser Redux game. I spent the last 4 hours trying to get my computer to run, and I think it's working now. So we should be able to do that after this as well. So anyway, hope you guys enjoy, and yeah. All right, boys. We gotta talk about what we're doing with Iran.
Gotta reconstruct. There was a lot of violence, a lot of their infrastructure is destroyed, and we have to. We
got a lot of work to do. Yeah, we are busy right now. So this is a private White House conversation. We got reports of continued, like I said, man, private conversation. We have reports of continued
investments.
I'm just gonna move people out of here. Okay. We got reports of continued activity in the southeast. What's going on with that? We got insurgents.
Yeah, they haven't submitted to our forces yet, and it's quite a hard task as it's a very mountainous region. We couldn't eradicate them all, but for the most part, they're not as powerful as the main government, and they for sure do not have any real force of taking out the new government we have.
Well, we'll want to keep our military presence there for sure.
Yes, 100%.
Rumsfeld, do you want to work on getting some troops on the border there? We don't want them moving over the border too much. I think we should probably also station divisions along the Afghani border, given the information we got from the director on the Taliban activity. We want to make sure that they're not crossing the border over there.
Yep.
All right.
Rumsfeld, you can handle that?
Yeah, I can.
Beautiful, beautiful. All right, director, I see you here a little bit late. What's our status on counter insurgency? Also, what's the update on Nigeria's situation?
Well, Nigeria, we will be needing to intervene in right away. I have contacts with the local Christian militia group.
Mm-hmm.
I believe they call themselves the Christian Militia of Nigeria. And contacts with other smaller groups. But with their help, I believe that Boko Haram can be pushed out of key cities and potentially the whole country one day.
Are we? So you're not advising direct action there? I mean, we have forces on standby. Now, it's going to take a lot of men, a lot of effort to keep Iran under control and establish that new government. But we do have the forces to make a direct intervention. What's your recommendation here?
Well, you know, there are some attempts by the government of their so-called caliphate to de-radicalize a bit, but I don't really I don't buy it. I don't buy what
they're goddamn terrorists. They can't de-radicalize if they had to do it to save their goddamn life.
Goddamn right.
All right. Well, continue to
possession of quite the arsenal.
It's Nigeria's a modern state. It's 100-something million people, I think, something like that. There's a lot of them. We gotta be careful. But
Yes,
there's
indeed.
the big thing we have to talk about though. That conversation with the colonel regarding the fact that Russia assisted the Iranian government in getting the Khomeini out. I think that's something this administration has to decide very carefully. How we take action here is going to dictate the future of our relationship with the Soviet Union. Shani, what's your thoughts on that?
Well, the Soviet Union, they've reestablished the presence in Eastern Europe. I'm quite concerned. Maybe we should consider NATO expansion in the Balkans for any Western outlook nation, particularly Bulgaria and Greece. I know Greece was a former member, and they left. If we could potentially get those two members, try to expand our influence overall.
I think that'd be a good idea. We're already working a lot with Croatia. We had a deal knocked out with them, I believe, regarding investments. Which, has anyone done that yet? Otherwise, I can handle that.
I think you can handle it.
Alrighty. But yeah, I think the trip to the Balkans and attempting to try and stabilize that region is absolutely key. Cheney, you want to handle that? Can you take a trip over there?
The Balkans, yeah, I'll go find the Bulgarian prime minister and I'll go speak with them.
Perfect. All right, by the way, just regarding the Laos situation, I had a talk with the Asian leaders, and I made it clear to them that we support the overthrowing of the Laos government, given they were communists. But I've given them a timeline of 1.5 years. So at the end of beginning of 2007, if it is still not free, we're going to have to take some action there. I'm hopeful the Asians simply wants the nation build a Western democracy, but if they don't, we can't allow them to simply occupy Laos indefinitely.
I agree. I'll be leaving now.
All right, farewell, Cheney. Director, when you have a moment, would you mind heading over to Asian countries like Thailand and Indonesia and having a talk with them about Laos and making sure they understand its situation and America's regards towards it? Director?
What was that? I'm sorry.
I said, can you go speak with Thailand and Indonesia and make our position to Asian very clear that we want to support them building Western democracies in Asia, but we will not allow for them to continuously occupy that country, and they do have that timeline of 1.5 years. Would you be able to go speak with them?
I will dispatch Special Agent Johnson immediately.
Perfect. Thank you kindly. And Secretary Rumsfeld, you might head over to the Middle East and talk with the Syrians, the Israelis, and that they're Saudis, and see if they can get some of their support nation building Iran. Coalition troops and investments. Could you go see about that for me?
Yep.
Thank you very much. All right, gentlemen. Perfect. And then I'm gonna speak with I believe I have a calling coming from the president of Brazil, and I'm gonna give the Russian commissar, or whatever the fuck he calls himself, a phone call here. Bert, what's your leader? Let me look.
It's President Sarah.
President Sarah, calling from a mobile device from 1997. What can I do for you?
Well, thank you. I know the call is very shoddy. I had just.
Are you calling from the jungles of the Amazon? What the hell's going on?
Don't worry. Our infrastructure is going to be much stronger by the end of this deal.
God damn, I hope so. If you need some American money to build up some radio towers, we can help you out here.
Well, that would be great, President Bush. I have an offer, a new initiative, the Road to Riches Initiative. And this will help boost both your economy and mine.
But will it boost your telephone signal, President?
Most assuredly. If you build up the roads, I can build up the phones.
Now, what's the details of this here plan? I'm not opposed to it. You know, we love our friends in Brazil, and you've been really instrumental in fighting the war on terror in South America. But what's the details of this deal?
Of course, I know that both the Twin Towers were lost during the vicious attack by the Iranian terrorists.
Goddamn
so we'll help build back the Freedom Towers to its natural glory, and alongside that, we'll build up your border regions with Mexico so that your infrastructure in and out of South America is stronger than ever.
It's a mighty fun offer. Mighty fun indeed. I assume it was coming with American investments back in Brazil.
Of course. As you know, roads for roads, roads to riches.
Yeah, we could get behind that. How much are you looking from the U.S. though, in terms of numbers? I gotta pass a new budget here pretty soon, and I don't even know what kind of allotment I want to do. I want to help Brazil, of course, but we'll need some details on that. What are you expecting from us?
President Bush, you have given us much in our time of need. I have a blank check right here, up to $1 trillion at your disposal. Whatever you can bring back, you're more than welcome.
God damn.
$1 trillion.
That's a big number. I'll give me a blank check. I give the say one every year. But yeah, we can do that. Well, the United States. Let me think about that. I'll have to consult with Cheney and Speaker of the House, but I think we can allot you a good amount of money. I mean, if you're what's the number you're going to be putting in the U.S. then one more time?
It's up to $1 trillion. Whatever you can manage.
I see no issue not to match that with $1 trillion investments in Brazil. This would be one of the biggest investment deals I think in world history.
Hey,
well, we only see it for one of our biggest partners. Don't you agree?
I fully agree. And again, I would like my only caveat here, as I want some of that money to go to building fucking telephone towers. Can you do that for me?
You have my assurances. I'll get it done, President Bush.
I think we can manage that. All right, then. I'll go ahead and go with the numbers. You looking for American companies and offices, or you thinking one American manufacturing?
I think big offices might be the best course of action here.
For all 1 trillion?
I mean, you can spice the deal. We can get some of that sweet Lockheed Martin.
You
Come on
want
down south.
American manufacturing, military complexes. Ooh, that's a spicy ass there. I think I can do that. I can pull that for you. I'll have to talk with Lockheed. I know Cheney's in real deep with those guys. They spook me the fuck out. They're weird as hell, man. I'll have him in here for meetings sometimes, and goddamn, they are. Oh god, he's in here. Cheney, I apologize. I wasn't speaking about you. Niall, I was speaking about someone else. No, Lockheed's great. We love our American manufacturer, military complex. Absolutely. Yeah, we can do that for you.
Well, President Bush, I thank you for your time. I'm going to send over the investment papers very shortly. But have a nice day, President.
You as well. You as well. Sorry about that, Cheney. Crept up on me there.
Yes. Israel? They talked about potentially having around 15 billion in the military investments, as right now they're completely surrounded by hostile nations, and they're worried about Libya, which they have recently expanded into Egypt, and now the Libyan army would be quite bigger than Israel, and they're requesting around 50 billion in military investments. If that could,
I think we can do that. I just agreed to a pretty sizable deal with the Brazilians, though. Let's see if we have the slots for it, but absolutely.
Of course. And then also talking with Bulgaria, and they've also expressed interest in joining NATO. But if you could see from their economy, they're not doing the best, around a 12.2% interest rate, and they're currently losing around $2 billion per week. And they said if they could potentially have some investments to kind of help offset that issue, then they could potentially seek NATO to join NATO. But that would, of course, be your call.
What do you think, Cheney? I'll let you choose this. You know, these economic matters, they aren't my specialty. I got more of that maverick spirit, like that there with John McCain. You know, he's running again. You hear that shit? I'll beat his ass in the primary, and he's coming back for more. Not that I can run again. Goddamn Constitution.
Well, I say we better save him. Well, better help him, because, you know.
I think so. He's going to need it.
Yeah,
that there Hillary Clinton's going to kick his ass. What's that other one? There's another one. I don't know. Anyway.
It's Obama, I think.
Something like that. I don't remember his name.
Around 40 billion, if that could be arranged.
I'm all for that. If you think it's a good goal, Cheney, I'll back you up on it.
And his military and industrial complex, that would probably be the best plan. I'll go to him right now.
Well, let's make it happen.
Okay, very well. I'll go to Bulgaria right now, and then I'll go to Greece from there.
Beautiful.
All right, goodbye.
Service. And by the way, Hussein's son doesn't know this. Anyway, I will tell it later. Mr. Shurganov, what is about the Intel access now?
I'll wait for him. I'll just send Matt a quick message. I've told him to message the GC. Okay, cool. Continue the investments. We got a lot of calls we need to make here, though. Make sure we get all these first, though. What are we up to for him? We've got... Yep, that'll do it. We'll be good after that. And then he's going to put the investments, I think, in Bulgaria and Croatia. Croatia, did they accept? They did. Good.
Greetings.
Hello there. Who's this phone call come? My red light just lit up. My chief staff team told me. Who is this?
Oh, it's President Nieto. Welcome. May we say you're in Mexico City just for one thing? I wanna do.
Oh yeah, I promised to do the visit for you. All right, that's true. Oh yes, of course. Thank you for having me here. It's well, not too far of a flight. Not too bad from DC.
No problem. I congratulate you, the American people, and your presidency on the victory in Iran.
Thank you very much. The war on terror is an existential fight. The whole of the Western world's fighting it, just like you are down there in Yucatan. Speaking of which, how's that going, President? You getting those commies under control?
It's going well, but we're on the way to the presidential palace to continue this negotiation. First, may you hear the American anthem by the Mexican band army. Yeah.
Beautiful. You truly got some talented musicians out here. I can tell you that.
God, does the soundboard work?
It does. Absolutely.
Oh.
I love my anthem.
It's not very long.
But we got some talks we gotta do here, President.
Of course. Sorry, forgive me.
No. I appreciate the sign of respect, but this is a hectic war these days. We got some talks. Not a lot of things we gotta talk about.
Well, I'm very well. So, the war in the Yucatan is proceeding accordingly. Thanks to your air support. The Maya rebels are on the point of breaking.
Good.
I believe by between 2 years, likely the entire organization will be wiped out.
That's damn good to hear.
I also wish to know your opinion on the recent developments on the island of Cuba. I believe our capitalist offensive, as Reagan will say, has been successful.
We're very glad to see that there are calls for democracy and that that regime is on its last legs. I'm a little hesitant to engage with the current government as it. I know. I still see a little bit of remnants of communism there. Have you had a lot of talks with Havana?
Well, they've been successful. I'm trying to convince them on paying reparations to the Cubans that live in the United States regarding the expropriations actuated by the Castro regime in the 60s.
Damn good idea.
I believe they can. I believe they'll eventually pay those reparations. And we shall keep around 200 troops, peacekeepers, between me and Brazil, between my government and the Brazilian one, to keep the peace and prevent any communist resurgence in the island. But for the moment, the situation is stable.
That's good to hear. Anything you want
As
the United States
well,
government to do
yes.
to assist them?
If the situation degenerates, but it doesn't seem for the moment, I shall ask for American support. And regarding the southern border with Guatemala, we have completed the construction of the wall. It is now fully operational, and we require minimum maintenance, which means there should be much less of a criminal and migration
We gotta
problem.
stop those goddamn
both of our
migrant
countries.
caravans. You know, I've been seeing. They're Fox News, great channel. I've been seeing on the news that there's these goddamn caravans of migrants, like millions of them, coming across the fucking Yucatan. Yeah. We gotta stop that, President. All right, you hear me? I don't want them crossing my border.
We're holding them at the border now. We just need
Many
minimum
of them
maintenance.
could be terrorists.
And it's a success.
Many of them. Good. We gotta stop
Likely.
them where they're at.
We just gotta say they're not sending the best. That's all
They're
we can
not.
say.
They're not. It's not the best. Well, that's good to hear, President. I'm very glad to hear that.
Finally, as for the last part of the most important thing, maybe perhaps, so I believe there should be a closer arrangement of ties between economic car manufacturers, industry, corporations between our two countries as part of NAFTA, and increasing ties between our nations. This will provide more jobs in Texas and other Republican states, which I think your party will severely appreciate.
We absolutely would. I agree. The NAFTA agreement is pinnacle for free trade. The values of Western capitalism must be upheld, especially with these goddamn communists popping up like goddamn whack-a-mole. You ever play whack-a-mole, President?
Yeah.
That game where you whack that fucking mole, come out of holes. That's what these commies are like, I swear. But I agree. I think we could set aside some money for investments in Mexico. We want to see investments back in the U.S. though. I'm at the point now. I think my party and the American citizens don't want these one-sided investments. We can't be continuing to do those.
Of course. And the NAFTA agreement is already providing 40 million jobs between both of our countries. It's already a great success, I believe.
Quite a lot. I'm going to go ahead and put 165 billion into your country. And again, we want to start doing more foreign investments. The man who's going to be running my place may be the next president, John McCain. We spoke many times. He's an interesting man. And I do think his reborn Marshall Plan has a lot of merit to building up a Western democratic states in order to provide the economic incentive not to fall to the grip of communism. And as such, I think we're going to get a little bit of that going. So 165 billion in Mexico, maybe 100 billion back in the U.S. We can pick up this load a little bit for you.
Yeah, it can be perfectly arranged. So we have that cash at the moment.
Good to hear. Very good to hear. And we can make that happen. Anything else I can speak with you about, President?
Unless you have any requests out of us, and that's everything we have to ask out of you, Mr. President.
I think we're about good. Any more security, any more surveillance we can give you? I won't go into details, but we've got a cutting-edge new program that we can track just about anything. Phones,
we have some
satellite photos,
in our
data,
country,
anything. We can take that shit.
We got dissidents. We are also willing to share information about possible terrorist action by part of certain cartels in the United States. So we are more than willing to share this information. I think it's necessary for the security of both of our countries.
Goddamn cartels. Yeah, I think further cooperation between your intelligence agency and the CIA and the FBI would be a good way to do it. I mean, we've already gotten a bit, but in times like this, we need to share resources, President.
Indeed. If anything, if I have to make a statement, there's a certain whistleblower currently in Colombia who has claimed has slandered our republic, our nation. What he says is falsely true. He claims we're a kleptocratic dictatorship, and this is just a lie. It is slander, common slander.
I can make a call. We can look into his computer, his files, his phone. Who knows? We might find some pretty dangerous stuff on there. You never know these days.
Indeed. Yeah, he's already a spy and a traitor. Probably who knows how many more crimes.
And if there's nothing on there, it might just appear. You never know. We can handle that for you if you like.
Indeed. Of course, then we shall send some information regarding him. We're currently hunting him down with the communist guerrillas in Colombia, with our Colombian allies.
Very well. We'll try and pinpoint his location and make it very clear that there is no chance of him to wiggle out of that for you.
Thank you very much, then. Thank you for your help, Mr. President.
I'm gonna head back to the airport.
You're a busy man.
Yeah, I'll head back to the airport. It's been good meeting with you. I'll have our ministers talk a bit more, knock out the details of the economic plan. And obviously, we'll have no issues with rebuilding and reiterating NAFTA in the future with Mexico, I hope.
There's no problem with that.
Good to hear. All right, thank you for your time, President.
Thank you for yours, Mr. President. I'm glad you have visited us today in Mexico City.
You as well.
I wish you a good journey back to the White House.
Thank you.
Mr. President, when you return to the White House, I believe we have a delegate from the Indonesian
Director.
Federation.
I can hear that. Ambassador? Do I have that right?
Yes, of course. A delegate.
What can I do for you?
We were summoned here on behalf of the CIA.
Director, you wanna tell us what's up?
Well, it appears that in my negotiations with the Thai president, more information about this situation was uncovered. Oh, Russian.
One moment, I got a call coming in, but I'll leave that till later. Please continue, Director.
But it appears that the government in Laos was sympathizing very much so with the government in China, in Beijing.
That's worrying.
The weapons shipments were being sent to various rebel groups trying to destabilize the region.
That's very worrying. You have conclusive reports that Chinese were supporting this, Ambassador?
Me?
Ambassador, yeah.
I'm sorry.
I don't see any other ambassadors in here. Do you?
I believe we have the
I'm
Thai
looking
ambassador
all
here
over
now.
my office, and I will see one.
The Thai ambassador should debrief you on the situation as he was fighting on the ground.
Beautiful.
Yes, hello there, Mr. President.
Yeah.
As an ambassador to the Thai government, I'd like to first thank you for allowing the time for me to speak on behalf
Of course.
of people.
What's the situation with Lao?
Yeah, in regards to some preliminaries, the Laotian government was supporting Karen rebels and terrorist groups in Thailand. After a terrorist attack occurred near the Myawaddy city on the border of central Thailand, the government had to act. We made in the recent election executive action, and we made a proposal to the ASEAN members. Not only did we have satellite data previously shared to India before we listened to the French ambassador, who has been, as you know, quite aggressive in his diplomacy.
That's one way to put it.
Before they did, we still had the satellite images, and it demonstrably showed not only was Laos preparing along the border, hand down southeast Taliban, but the Karen state rebels shipments that were smuggled in from Laotian officials. Now, after we made this clear to the Asian members, even Indonesia was critical of it.
You're cutting it real bad, man.
Sorry. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I think it's your internet or something. You just keep cutting out.
Hold on. I got an idea. Hold on. Is it better?
That's better.
Yeah. So after we had the satellite images and we had the executive actions given to the president, the prime minister, we sent it along to ASEAN for proof. After a brief debate with Indonesia, who was skeptical of it at first, we demonstrated it to be true. And not only this, but the Laotian government had continued, and Indonesia was able to self-independent prove that this was the case. The Chinese government does not appreciate the Laos government because they were previously, in the 70s, supported by the Soviet Union. As a result, they also had an interest in supporting us. This was a multilateral effort, from allies from Australia to Indonesia to even the Chinese to some extent. However, with everyone having their own interest in the matter, they did indeed send guns to us, which we accepted, but this is not an indication of our alignment to their cause as a communist nation. It is why we continue to press against Laos and are currently instilling a constitutional monarchy, because the rightful monarch who was kicked out in the 775 is being replaced into his rightful throne, but also putting back a democratic force, which is why their next election.
I hear you. I understand it's a complicated issue. I get that. I'll leave that to the goddamn ministers to deal with. My concern here, and I want to reiterate, ASEAN has America's full support for ousting this commie regime. Don't get me wrong on that, but support you on it. But I'm a little worried to make sure that there's a transition to a democratic state there. I understand it's complicated, and we don't want to risk, obviously, the commies or anyone else coming out of here. But at the same time, I just want to make sure that we're not going to see some sort of Thai-client state here. And that's my worry.
Oh, that won't happen. And even if we are going to allow Laos to have their election in 2009, and when that happens, we'd be more than willing to no longer have our military forces.
Ambassador, what's your timeline on being able to pull out of any involvement in the Laos government? What's your timeline looking like on that?
Once we're able to cooperate with our allies in ASEAN, and I would say maybe by 2009 of August.
4 years? That's a long time, Ambassador. I don't think we can abide by that.
Their election is going to be held in 2009, and if we do not do this, China will have a complete influence over that country, and you can check it yourself.
We do see a lot of influence there with him. Director, what are your thoughts on this?
Well, I believe that as long as we do have proper assurances that a commitment to enabling a regime with the American democratic interests in mind is
we can hold them accountable as a neutral third party.
I want assurances that ASEAN itself is going to be overseeing this and not just a Thai. And I'd like American envoys there overseeing the process. Cooperating, of course, but we just want some oversight in this. You understand?
Very well.
That sounds agreeable.
In that case, I think we can look to 2009 to see that election and push out Chinese influence. We can get behind that.
All right, sounds good then.
If you need any further help from the United States government, do not hesitate to contact the director or Vice President Cheney. I'm happy to deal with it, but I got a big plate over here. It's full of fried chicken. Got a lot to eat. You understand?
Oh yeah, of course. Yes, I do.
Alrighty. Sounds good then. We'll back you up here.
Mr. President, just we sent you a letter a few days ago. We're still waiting for a response.
Yeah. We did get that letter from you. That was the observation one, right?
Yeah.
As far as I'm aware, we're already observing in there.
You are, but what we passed was hopefully that we would get observation in other alliances such as NATO and the 15th International.
You want to observe in the 5th International?
In NATO as well, but
you understand there might be security concerns if you were to observe and have any measure of understanding of the NATO's activities if you're also going to be cooperating with the Soviet sphere.
Oh no, we're just observing.
I understand that,
like
but observers are still privy to conversations that could create interests and problems. We're not opposed to becoming an observer and cooperating with NATO, but we're going to need to see you not cooperating or even observing and working with the 5th International. We thought you were anti-commie. I'm confused here.
We are leading a socialist government right here. We're not
Socialist
communist.
isn't
we are
fucking
social.
communism.
We're buying a lot
That-
of the weapons from the Russians and former now the Soviets.
I understand, but we're not gonna deal with countries doing that. I mean, we can work with you, but we're not gonna work closely with you.
Very well.
You're asking for observation status in NATO, and I'm not opposed to that. But if you're working with the Soviet sphere, I think that's off the table, unfortunately.
Very well. We could. We're going to offer like a note of confederation.
Confederation.
We're going to keep it. No, we're going to keep it confidential. With we can
Keep what
place a
confidential?
note on that. Whatever we see in the NATO chat, we won't share any information.
Out of
with
RP,
third-party
we already had
entities.
issues with people saying they wouldn't do that, and then just like telling other players. So at this point, we're just pretty wary out of RP because there are some players who were doing that when they weren't supposed to.
Okay, fair enough. Fair
Yeah.
enough then. I can respect that.
Sorry, that's just I love to say yeah, but again, we just had everything fucking leak constantly, so we gotta be careful now.
No, I understand. I understand. I wouldn't. I'll be very worried myself.
But I think I don't want to cause any issues of Asian. We value our connections with y'all, but this is entering into a very dangerous era with the Soviets, and we want to be able to not have any leaks. You understand? We want to run a tight ship, you know.
Very much understand this, Mr. President.
Good to hear.
Oh, we're going to be taking our leave. It's a long flight back to Jakarta.
Yes, it is. Have a safe flight back, Ambassador. Good speaking with me.
Thank you. Farewell.
Ambassador from Croatia. Welcome to White House. What can I do for you?
I'm out of roleplay here because I'm not in the game at all. I'm just chilling.
Ah, gotcha. Okay. Rumsfeld, what news on the Middle East? We got any cooperation there?
Everything's the same as it was before. Nothing is changing that much.
Good to hear.
Alright.
What is the Sudanese situation looking like?
South Sudan is pushing the
Out of
Sudanese
RP,
forces.
we are going to send volunteers here. What were the rules again? The new rules that we had for volunteers? Let me make sure that I send the right ones this time.
Oh, yeah,
I come great news. We have I successfully negotiated Bulgaria and Greece to join NATO.
Wonderful.
Oh.
Great to hear, Cheney.
Hey, those Bulgarians, they're quite interesting. He first wanted America to sell nukes to Bulgaria. Of course, I denied that. And then
Outrageous.
his second request was he wanted to reclaim Macedonia. Of course, I backed him down on that as well. But he sure had quite some crazy ambitions. But I think I've lowered him down to a more reasonable, something more reasonable.
Good to hear.
But of course, he will want those. When we have the bureaucracy to do it, he will want those 40 billion.
That's agreeable. We can absolutely do that. That's completely fine.
Mm-hmm.
1 second, I'm trying to get the right division set here. We can send special forces if there are only 20 width, I believe. Only infantry or motorized battalions. Yeah, we can send them. I think I'm the only one sitting on the US right now because we needed all those subs, right?
Yep.
Okay. God damn it, we only have 40 widths. We'll just do this. No, we don't have the XP for it. God damn it.
I'm just hoping the AI don't fuck up my entire country.
Oh man, this is the goddamn problem. Volunteer rules. God damn it.
What are the rules actually for the volunteers? What can I
10 to
say?
20 West divisions, only infantry and motorized battalions, no limits on support companies. We already did the RP statement, so we're fine there.
Well, last time there was 2 special divisions, 2 special group division, but they were like basically useless.
Yeah, because we set the wrong ones. God damn it. Yeah, we need like a volunteer division is what we need. We'll need XP for it.
The Middle Eastern war in Iran did not last long enough for us to get much experience.
No, it did not.
Through brilliant planning of naval invasion in the south.
We'll get... We have enough now. Okay, cool. These are not fantastic, but we can send them. What's the limit on how many we can send? Are there limits? I don't think there are limits. You can just do however many we can do.
I think we can do 2 at most. Or...
No, I looked at the rules. That's not the case. We can send however many the game lets us. We can send up to 3.
Oh, yeah.
And then we can send air volunteers, right?
Yeah. Because China's already done that.
Okay. Alright, those are within the rules. I'm just going to upgrade a little bit when we can. God, people need to start showing up so we don't have to send you guys off to some of these fucking other countries. One manning the US is fucking brutal.
Sounds brutal.
Also, if you are
Send
in here,
a
man,
limit
just a
on that
heads up. Do like you can hang out in here, but like it's just the US chat. Just heads up. I don't mean rude, but
I'm well aware.
yeah, people will just do that sometimes. It gets hectic. Okay, air volunteers.
After the rehost, I will be able to jump back to USA, right?
Yes.
Mexico will be back after rehost.
President
Fuck
Bush,
her all.
you have my full consent to use your CIA powers to start investigating them Boko Harams and messing with them.
Will do. Give me just one moment. The Joint Chiefs walked out today, so I'm having to do all our shit. 1 second. We can send, I think, 2 wings.
Believe in you.
You cannot really hold the Kanos Caliphate to be hold for long. We need it gone quickly before they fully integrate their powers. For now, there's a lot of resistant groups, but the
You
longer we
can't
wait,
micro these fucking these wars, can you?
you cannot.
All right, I saw China microing earlier. He's not anymore.
I was microwaving banned.
Because it just resulted in just absolute bullshit, and good players always win wars. And then people get pissy. Yeah, God, I can't wait till the rehost. Where did all the planes go?
Hello.
One moment, we're overseeing a combat operation. Just give me 1 second here. Can't send volunteers, right? For some reason, it's saying we can't send air volunteers. Does anyone know like the modern air after this fucking update?
No.
I don't either.
Sudan only has 1 airport, South Sudan, so you can't send air volunteers.
They have 1 airbase though.
Sweden declared war on Lithuania.
You need more on 1 to send air volunteers, I'm pretty sure.
Okay. The Nord one has 2 airfields. That must be what it is. All right, sounds good.
Yeah.
All right, well, we'll let that work. Anyway, all right, back on track. Someone was here to speak. Who was it?
The Moroccan government, my friend.
Wonderful. What can I do for
We
you?
would like we would like you to oversee the referendum between me and Spain of the land our side of the on our side of the Mediterranean, the Spanish outposts.
Well, why do you want to oversee that for specifically?
Well, you see, we need a power that isn't in the region, and we need to make sure that it's free and fair referendum on whether to join Morocco or stay with Spain.
That's fair. I think we can definitely send people to oversee that for you. We can put American diplomats on the ground there. We have people who oversee these sorts of elections in countries like this, and we can absolutely help you out with that.
That's fine. One more question. What's going on in Europe?
I've been asking myself that for the last 5 years. What are you specifically referring to?
Sweden. They seem to be on steroids.
That's the AI declared a fucking war.
Against the USSR too, by the way.
Yeah, that makes no fucking sense, so we're not gonna allow that. Well, actually, I'll go talk to Dustin. God damn it. Hey, Dustin, just a heads up. The Swedish AI, because the player is not here, started a war with the Soviets. It's really fucking dumb. Can you go talk to them and tell them that, like, just not to fucking ruin the country until the player comes back, and we're gonna piece that out when we can? Or something like that?
Cool.
Yeah, because it's I'll let you deal with it, but this is like a mechanical thing with the AI being dumb, and it's just whenever AI does stupid shit like this, we tend to just like edit it out. So.
Yep.
Cool. Thanks.
Membership, unless.
All right, we're looking good here. Rumsfeld, we got cut off there. So situation is the same in the Middle East. Did you get any of those countries to do investments in Iran by chance?
I got Israel to invest one factory into Iran.
Well, better than nothing, I guess.
Yeah, they did not really want, considering that there was not really any benefit to them.
The benefit is securing a Western government in Iran. What do you mean there's no benefit to them? Is that what they said?
Well, I explained it to them, but, well, Israel was very reluctant, but others, they just didn't really want to.
God fucking damn it. I'm gonna have to give him a goddamn call.
I can talk to them again and now.
No, if he's talking like this, I'm gonna need to call him directly. All right. In that case, I'll be right back. Let me go give him a call. Cheney, what's happening?
Nothing much. Just going around, speaking, making sure everything's in order, which it is.
It's good to hear. Good to hear. In that case, I'll be right back.
All right. Goodbye.
Out of RP, you got a second?
Yeah, what's up?
You want to do the call now?
Yeah. By the way, this war in Sweden is going to get voided after the...
yeah, it will. Yeah, it's just fucking AI.
Yep.
Hello there. This is President George Bush.
Yeah, welcome. What can I do for you, Mr. Bush?
I want to call you up, Mr. Zuganov, to talk to you about this worrying situation that we found out about, and talk with you before we take any action on the UNSC or the UN General Assembly. We had a call with a colonel of Libya who made it very clear that it was the Soviet Union and yourself who somehow managed to get the Khamenei of the terrorist government Iran to his country before he went to Lebanon. We'd just like to give you a chance to respond to this and tell us why the hell you did this before we move forward with anything. As again, my administration feels it's important to have a line open with Moscow, even with these hostile acts.
We do not recognize the Iranian government's terrorist organization. You cannot enforce your will upon every other country in the world just because you see them as hostile. This would make many countries around the world terrorist organizations.
So I take it you're not going to even deny it?
Deny what? That a foreign diplomat with diplomatic immunity to travel to Russia? What would we
So
deny
you do admit then that you did smuggle the community out of Iran and gave
There
him
is no
safe harbor?
smuggling here. We had no troops on the ground. We had no participation in them simply
Belarusia
traveling to
certainly
the
did.
Caspian Sea. The Belarusians' diplomatic actions have nothing to do with the Russians' diplomatic actions.
We know very well that they are nothing but a subject state of your modern Soviet Union. If they were making those
So
actions, they would have run
this
that by
is
Moscow.
allegation. This is false. Very false.
So again, you're not going to deny, you will accept the fact that you smuggled the community out of Iran.
No, I would not accept that I smuggled anybody. No smuggling occurred. This is a false lie. There is no smuggling happening in Russia. A diplomat with diplomatic immunity of another internationally recognized nation traveled to Russia for a brief period of time to the Caucasus. Or I should say around the Caucasus, in the south. We're aware
I'm not here to play the word game with you. The fact of the matter is, you assisted a terrorist government. We'd like to just understand your reasoning for doing so, frankly.
I just gave you my reasoning. They were an international recognized country with diplomatic immunity traveling through Russia. We had no.
We're supporting a
embargoes or
terrorist state
sanctions
with
against
nuclear weapons and nuclear facilities that broke
We
the
do not
NPT.
recognize them as a terrorist state, and we did not have any evidence of nuclear weapons at that time because you and your cronies vetoed these actions to investigate.
I was really hopeful that this was not true, but the fact that you're not even denying these accusations is shocking.
Why would we deny it? There's no reason for it.
Things I think are going to escalate very quickly from here, Mr. Zuganov. I just want to make it clear. This line is always going to be open.
I cannot see why anything would need to escalate.
Thank you for your time.
Nothing was done. Good day.
Trini, we got ourselves a problem here.
Yes. What
I
happened?
just spoke with the premier of the Soviet Union, Zuganov, and he fully admits to smuggling the community out of Iran.
He did.
He made it very clear,
He
unabashedly.
did.
He assisted a terrorist government that was preparing nuclear weapons.
Well, that will sure escalate things.
We need to have a big talk here about how we're going to address this. My force is normal, but I can assure you my rage is without equal right now. And I'm not trying to do something fucking stupid.
Mm-hmm.
You help my father out a lot in times like these, in the Cold War. You know what this is like, Shady. What the fuck are we doing here?
Yes, of course. It's quite a dangerous game. Of course, we can't do anything. I don't think we should do some too radical stuff, though. I think we should go to Turkey and maybe Denmark and consider cutting off Russia's access out of the Danish and Turkish straits if they're openly admitting to supporting terrorist governments.
I agree. I think that's a very good idea. I think we also need to start talking with many of the international UNSC members, get them on the same page before the UNSC meeting. I think we also need to draft legislation, at the very least condemning Russia and potentially considering sanctions.
You know China's opinion on this. I know the Chinese don't have the best opinion of the Soviets. Maybe if we could.
I think that'd be a good place to start.
Yes.
Now the French and the British are the complicated one. And the thing is, the Soviets will veto anything, but we could pass a UN General Assembly bill, perhaps.
Potentially, but it'd be very hard to do. We need.
It'd be difficult.
Incredible amount of evidence, yes. That incredible amount of evidence that they.
I mean, they have openly admitted to it. We don't need evidence at this point. I had a phone call with Zuganov.
Well, the issue is what certain countries consider terrorist governments. I doubt the Soviets consider the Iranian government a terrorist government. And
They made that very clear that they didn't. But the fact of the matter is, they struck the United States of America. They attacked us, and we were at war with them. At the very least, they were aiding and abetting a hostile power that declared military action on the United States.
Of course, but it's
that
not what
could
we
be
think,
seen
it's
as a
what they
declaration of war as well in a co-combatant status.
I would not go that far. That it seems. Again, they have nuclear weapons. We shouldn't escalate that far. We should try to see what diplomacy can achieve.
Take your word on it, Shady. In that case, I think I'm gonna call up the chairman of China, and you're gonna go talk with the Turks.
Yeah, I'll go talk with the Turks.
Sounds good to me. Let's do it.
Very well. Goodbye.
Out of RP, real quick.
What's up?
I was talking to Reed on the Boko Haram.
Yeah.
He wants to do like some sort of like a smaller restricted war, proxy war.
I told him already. We had a long talk last night. I told him that's not happening. Like, I told him he has a couple years. If he doesn't do it, like, we're going in, so.
Okay.
He knows what's
Do
up.
what,
He,
like-
he can say whatever he wants, but I made it clear to him on that. So
A couple of years for him to like.
yeah, I
switch
told
his
him. I
government
told
up?
him he had till the rehost to like figure out what he wanted to do, and at that point, we're gonna go in. So.
All right.
Yep. Also, just out of RP, the Russians have admitted to smuggling at the community in Iran, just so you guys are aware.
God damn.
I have to go ahead and give the Chinese a call. I can fucking find him. So many goddamn channels. Oh, where the fuck is he? Chairman! Hello there? Is this phone call connected?
Oh, so no, I was just having a meet. Yeah, it's connected to Vietnam.
I need to speak with Chairman of China. We got ourselves an international crisis here.
Yeah, Vietnam. I will deal with it once I dealt with the president of US. So yes, how can we help you?
I have very disturbing news. I would ask that this phone line also be kept private.
Yes, I'm sure Vietnam would respect the.
Chairman, I had a phone call with Premier Zurganov, and he admitted to smuggling out the community of Iran and giving him safe harbor in the Soviet Union.
I see. Well, it seems to be that the so-called Soviet Union is harboring a terrorist. Then it seems
They moved him to Libya, and the Libyans moved him to Lebanon. But the Soviet government embedded and aided a terrorist. Now, he made it clear that they don't view that as a terrorist state. But even if they don't, Iran declared war on the United States of America, and they assisted our enemies. We want to speak with China about action we could potentially take against the Soviet Union. Nothing too drastic, but we need to make it clear this behavior is unacceptable. And can you imagine if India, if the Mongols, goddamn Kazakhs declared war on China, and they smuggled out the leader? What would you do, Chairman?
yes, of course we would go after them and do whatever it is in our power to deal with them.
That's where I'm at here. You understand my quandary?
Yes, I understand, Mr. President.
I was curious if you had any thoughts here. You know, the United States, we're going to want drastic action once this news breaks. I haven't told the media yet. Once this news breaks, my people, they're going to want blood. Before that happens, I want to have a talk with you. I know we've been on frosty relations recently, but we have a shared conviction in the danger of the Soviets, I assume, still.
Yes, yes, we agree that they do present a threat, especially with how they how a lot of Baltic and especially Ukrainian nations have gone quiet media-wise in that.
We agree. I mean, those countries have been annexed by the Soviet Union. They can say whatever the fuck they want. We know what that is.
Yes. But
so again, action. What else? My voice crack. What are your thoughts here, Chairman? I mean, I got mine, but I want to do you the service as a major power in the modern era to ask your opinion first.
Well, our opinion would be that if Russia is not going to hand over the Ayatollah Khamenei, which of course did the tragic 9/11, if it is true that he has pleaded guilty to doing the 9/11 attacks, then Russia should be seen as harboring a man who may potentially strike America again. Who knows what cells the Iranians possess in America still.
I see it, Chairman. Now, I think to begin with, a condemnation of the Soviet Union at the UNSC would be a good start. Obviously, it'll be vetoed by the Russians, but even a vote where all the other permanent members of the UNSC vote for it would be a public statement against their actions. We're trying to be willing to support us in that. I'm not talking about an abstention. I'm talking about a vote for yes.
Do we have do we have actual solid evidence that he's been moved to like Russia? Is he in Russia? Is any?
I can give you the logs from my recent phone call with him where he makes it very clear that that's what he did.
I see. If he's made it clear, and then like anything in court, then Russia is guilty to harboring a terrorist who need to be brought to The Hague.
Correct.
As such, China will most definitely follow suit in the UN's Court of Law in accordance to that, and we will definitely be be condemnation of Soviet Union is valid, then
We have your vote then.
yes.
We're also in the process of discussing with our friends in Denmark and Turkey the possibility of cutting off Russian military vessels and shipping them in the Bosphorus and in the straits up north in the Baltic. Would we have Chinese support for that? They still have access to their eastern ports in Vladivostok, but we need to take action here decisively to make it clear that the West is not going to tolerate this. Now, this is not forever, but I think for a while this is an action that would go a long ways. It would harm them economically enough they'd fucking feel it, you know?
Yes, I agree. Of course, maybe pushing it to the UN, the GA Assembly may surpass Russia's veto, but I don't know how. I don't know what the
We
consensus
discussed
of.
that possibility, but we need to get a lot of nations on board. Would China be willing to support that measure?
Yes, I would definitely support that measure.
That's very good to hear. We're very glad to hear that the Chinese will be supporting this. Well, Chairman, I must say, I can't sit by with your extremist thought that you've allowed into your government. I want to make that clear. I don't see a timeline where us go back into the state we once were, but there's a bigger threat than each other right now. Not that we view you as a major threat, but our ideology does not get along well together. But the Soviets, now they're a goddamn danger. And I think that we need to at least cooperate in that capacity in the future.
Yes, I believe that if the Soviets are willing to harbor terrorists, then China does see them as going one step too far in terms of doing what they're doing.
I'm very glad to hear that, Chairman. Well, this has been a good talk, and I must say I'm very pleasantly surprised with your cooperation, and we look forward to it and hopefully more of that in the future. Thank you for your time.
Yes, thank you, Mr. President.
I gotta find the VC I'm going to. One moment. All 500 of them.
$14 carriers, man.
Yeah.
You have 4 battleships. Like, God, it's like, urgh. You know, I wish I had 4 battleships.
Yeah, I think America joined, or like George Bush arrived.
Most certainly did.
Yeah.
Ramps. You right, Bush?
Yeah, we got to talk with the French president here, Prime Minister.
Yeah, I was about to talk with you as well, I think.
We will need this room cleared though. This is a very private conversation that has major national security issues.
Before I leave the building, I'd like to ask a question. Did you read my statement, Mr. Bush?
I don't have time for that right now, so no.
The MacArthur's been built.
I'm sure it has.
I think it should come visit the US.
President, can you escort this ambassador out? No offense, but the actions of Philippines
please,
recently have been quite problematic.
Yeah, I think you...
Do you know what? Goodbye. Ugh.
Alright, Mr. President, I have something to tell you as well, but you first.
This is, there's no monitoring on your phone call, right? This is a close call?
It's a close call.
Alright. I had a conversation with the leader of Russia, Zuganov, where he made it clear to us that he did in fact smuggle out the committee, the terrorist at the head of the terrorist Iranian government that struck the United States, and that he gave them safe harbor and diplomatic immunity within the Soviet Union before transferring them to the Libyans.
Oh.
He didn't even deny it.
Well, that's certainly problematic.
It's one way of putting it.
It's concerning, to say the least. I think that demands condemnation, at least.
We're putting together a couple different actions to be able to properly respond to this. The first of which will be a vote in the UNSC formally to condemn Russia. Now, despite their veto, we would like to have all the permanent UNSC members vote for this proposal, as it sends a strong statement, even if there isn't a formal one from the UNSC. Is France going to back us up with this, given that you were part of the coalition forces in Iran?
Of course, we are able to give you. We certainly will back you up on this decision.
Good to hear. The second item we are currently pursuing is the possibility of closing off the Bosphorus and the Denmark Straits from Russian shipping, both military and commercial, in order to send a strong message to the Soviet Union about this behavior. Will the French be willing to back us up with this? We need a General Assembly vote for it to back it up, but frankly, at the end of the day, we really need the Danish and the Turks to cut it off, though it could heat up real quick.
let me be frank, Mr. President. What is the probability of Russia retaliating militarily?
It's never not an option, but we can't just let them get away with this. They embedded a terrorist here. And if they continue that pattern, then we're going to have ourselves a problem, won't we?
Yes, but given that Russia is a country with the most nuclear warheads in the world, I'm a little bit concerned about this decision, Mr. President.
It's a situation of mutual destruction. I thought France was all about modern power projection. Don't tell me you're getting cold feet here.
Yes.
If you want to play the big dogs, you want to play the big dogs, President, you got to grow yourself a big old ball sack. Can you do that for me? Can you grow yourself a big old ball sack? Can you do that?
Mr. President, it will be French. This is a closed line. Please, yes.
I know it's a goddamn closed line.
Yes. I don't know. It's French.
I apologize. It's informing the President. I wish to speak later. Good day.
That's fine. I'm in a close call. One moment. Now, President, is France looking to be a modern power? Are you looking to cooperate with the U.S. internationally to preserve global order? Because if you want to talk all day long, that's fine. But this is the kind of action it takes to do it.
Then, Mr. President, in order to do this, I want your approval to condemn Thailand for the actions in Laos.
This is not a quid pro quo situation. Do you want to uphold global order, or do you want to make deals like a second-rate power, President?
I want to pursue global order, but
then you'll back us the fuck up here. That's what you'll do.
Mr. President, again, no.
No. That's unfortunate.
Well,
I wonder what the French soldiers who fought in the coalition wars will think once they see their president and their government not taking action against those who abetted a terrorist who led that group. You had soldiers down on the ground, didn't you, President?
Mr. President, do you understand a major global nuclear war?
Do you understand that this is a slippery fucking slope? And if we don't set some goddamn lines here, the Soviets are gonna walk all over us. You know, they referred to you as our puppet.
It would be, but it would be French people dying first.
Would
Mr. President.
Are you aware of the current launch capacities of the Soviet Union?
I am aware of that. I know that they have the most.
Then you know damn well
in the world.
that we've got everything that at stake here too.
Mr. President, do you want me to set my nukes on launch ready then? What is your game plan
No.
here?
If they do, we'll respond in kind, but we need to draw a line, and this is how we draw that line. I'm not saying this is permanent. We could stand down, but we're gonna want fucking concessions from Moscow at the very least.
Mr. President, I will agree to this. However, I will reserve the right to pull out if it gets too hot.
Just remember, if you pull out, then you're not gonna be what you claim to be. A world power, a modern power, it got goddamn cojones. And if you pull the fuck out, the whole world will see you won't have them.
I got cojones, Mr. President. I closed off the whole Mediterranean. Nobody opposed me.
That was a small situation with small powers. You're playing with the big dogs now.
Mr. President, I understand.
Good.
I agree.
Do we understand each other?
We do. And
Good.
the Caliphate is going crazy again.
Yeah, it is.
Another thing I have to tell you, Mr. President. Croatia, not Croatia. The Philippines came into my room.
Those crazy fuckers.
They asked me to bomb Croatia for them.
The Philippines is run by a goddamn madman. I'm sure you know that by now.
Yes, but
he's off his goddamn rocker.
But I think we could do something because I have evidence of this. I've recorded the voice, the talks.
Well, I think you need to make that very clear. We stand with Croatia. We've already invested heavily in them. If the French are looking for foreign investment, we advise building up Croatia. They're one of our few Western allies cooperating in the Balkans and in Africa. They put men on the ground in Sudan, brave men, fought against goddamn terror.
Oh, we did it already. We dumped 100 billion into Croatia already.
Glad to hear that. We just stand with our allies. There's becoming few and few of them in these days.
That is true. That is true. So when will this whole
at the next UNSC meeting? I gotta make 2 more calls here.
All right, Mr. President, I thank you. Then I hope you make the right choice.
Thank you for your time.
Thank you.
Let me mute my stream real quick before I talk to you. Which one? There we go. All right, I'm back. Sorry about that. Had to deal with something.
Hello.
Oh, there.
Have you received the news regarding the Caliphate's invasion of Cameroon?
We have. At this point, I think we need to go in. At the very least, we need to send some volunteers over there.
Of course, I say we should guarantee them. And
Military intervention into the caliphate.
I say so.
I heard.
We can start justifying right now. I'll take 600 days.
Mr. George W. Bush.
Dog, I'm in the middle of something. One moment.
Please, you have investments.
I know. If you can speak with Shady when I'm done, there's a lot going on right now. Give me a minute here.
Bye.
We'll go ahead and start justifying on them. Can someone write out like just a very short post about this, by the way? And then I'm going to send 2 volunteers to support Cameroon.
Francis arrived.
Oh there. We got a situation developing in Cameroon. I'm sure you're aware of it.
Yes. Quite concerning.
We are going to be preparing for a military intervention. It'll take us well over a year, and we're going to be sending volunteers in the meanwhile to try and stop their forces.
Yes, I will. The French are willing to send intervention forces, and then later having a full-fledged intervention.
Good to hear. We gotta stop this terror right now.
We do. Absolutely, we do.
Croatia is willing to send volunteers to Cameroon as well.
We'd appreciate that greatly. The more coalition forces on the ground, the quicker we can push back these terrorists.
So it's a unanimous degree that NATO is intervening in this right now?
Yeah.
The United States is. If NATO would like to get involved, that'd be completely fine. But
I would like to call for a motion to NATO to fully intervene in this conflict. Yes.
France also intervenes.
We need to call NATO's members in here. Are we missing anyone?
No, I called them pretty much
Turkey
all of them.
are missing.
Turkey,
I think this would be a good example to show NATO's strength, given what we've been seeing in Europe. After we get this organized out, I also got something I think NATO should be aware of, but we'll give it a moment here. We're going to be putting troops on the ground and air on the ground right now. If other NATO forces would like to do the same, I think it's about time we take some action here, gentlemen.
Yes.
Certainly,
I
we would
fully
support
agree.
that. Do we still need to post that we're going to be doing that?
Yeah, I told one of my co-ops to do it. Can one of my co-ops do that real quick?
Can you do it at generalized NATO?
CIA is doing it.
Okay, thank you. I appreciate that, Craig.
So can we be included in that? Because I'm having out to do
Yeah,
it.
make it clear. It's coalition forces from NATO. You guys are sending volunteers, right?
Yeah,
Yes.
I will once I get back into the game.
Good to hear.
We also did send attaches to Cameroon.
Turkey is here.
Hello, Turkey.
Also the same.
To catch you up, NATO is intervening in the Cameroon conflict.
Okay. Why?
Why?
Yes, why?
It's a fucking Muslim terror caliphate that's conquered half of Africa. That's why.
I mean, We're a defensive alliance.
NATO has a history of taking action if needed. You're really telling me in this current world we live in, it's not time to seriously reevaluate how we do things? Speaking of which, I want to take this moment. Let me make sure there's no one else in here who shouldn't be in here. You're all NATO, good. All right, I want to make this very clear. We've spoken with several of our partners, but we want to make this very clear. I had a phone call with Zuganov from the Soviet Union, where I was told by the Colonel Gaddafi. One moment, let me speak. Where I was told.
I'm just gonna leave.
No, go. Yeah, if you're not in the thank you, appreciate that.
Yeah,
There's so many people in here to see.
Also, Brazil is in here.
He's fine. He's a close friend of ours. Well, I had a phone call with Premier Zuganov where we had reports, and I'd hoped that they were not true. The Russia smuggled out the committee during the war, the terrorist leader of a terrorist state that declared war on the U.S. Zuganov did not deny this, and he said that he gave the committee diplomatic immunity, and they held him and gave him hiding places in the Soviet Union before moving him to Libya. The Soviet Union has taken hostile action against the U.S. We don't view it as a declaration of war, but they made their position very fucking clear. And I want to make this clear. If they're willing to do this to the enemies of the United States, you can be damn sure they're going to do it to the enemies of European states too, which they have historically made very clear are not their friends.
This is great justification for NATO expansion at the end of the day. We can get Romania.
I agree.
Bulgaria agrees.
I would like to ask all NATO members to start speaking with your friends, connections, and allies across Europe to see about the expansion of NATO. We've already talked with the Bulgarians who are interested in doing this, and I think we need to look further. I hate to draw a line about the Cold War, but Zuganov has made his new Iron Curtain, and we got to contain that threat. I hope the rest of NATO is with us on this.
Germany's within complete support with this.
Good to hear.
I just made posts. Let me know if that's all right.
The German government would also like to state that we may need to reinforce the Cameroonian eastern flank. It is very dismal looking.
Yep, remember we can't. You can't micro those. Remember.
You can't.
He is microing there right now, I think. Well, no, there's just no people there. We're gonna start a counteroffensive.
Hold up.
Just put a front line there.
We'll start to push it back here. Once more coalition forces. All coalition forces. Let's start to move here. We're getting blitzkrieged. It's time we start pushing back. We got superior forces.
Yeah.
Just checking. We are okay to send air to this.
You are, yes.
Yeah.
Excellent.
Just make sure you put in the volunteers channel. Just put in there that you sent them.
Yep.
Do we have
what time is the rehost going on?
Rehost will be in 28 minutes.
Question: do we have permission from the game controller to do this?
To intervene, we don't need permission for this.
Wait, so
No,
are you
it's
going
player
in
war, we need permission.
before
It's
or
involved.
after the rehost?
I already also talked to that player and made it clear I'd support him. So, I mean, if you want to ask Dustin, you can.
Hey, it was just in the rules, unless
It is in the rules, but I already talked to Reed, the player on Nigeria. We had a long talk last night about how this would go.
Alright.
We talked about he told me he'd plan to go to Cameroon. I said that we were going to send volunteers and stuff, and he said that's fine.
All right, perfect.
Yep.
That's player permission then. That's fine.
Yep.
Yes, Turkey will reluctantly follow the cowboy once again.
A cowboy. I'll take that
Yes,
as a
you
compliment. I
fucking
hope you meant it as
cowboy.
such. Baycow, Mr.
You're
Baycow.
a fucking cowboy.
I'll take that as a compliment. You know, I'm from
Apples.
Texas. Out there,
Take
it's,
it out,
there's
Rod.
no high praise.
Where's the
It's
NATO
what I-
Air Force? Currently, only French fighters are engaging into air combat.
American
against German
fighters
fighters.
are over Central
German
Africa.
Eurofighters are also there. German Eurofighters. 50 Eurofighters have been sent.
We got a big group of them in the south contained. Also, out of RP, just do remember, guys, you can only battle plan now in the wars. Just heads up.
Yep.
Just in case anyone forgot.
I have just a better plan, and then just like one.
And what you can do though is you can change the orders on it, so you can go more aggressive, and then you can do your cohesion changes. That's the one thing you can't do. So.
Yeah.
Yep.
All right.
Well, anyway, let's while we're fighting this coalition war, this is a good time for NATO to talk. Let's talk planning here. We got a hostile Russia that's abetting terrorists. Obviously, NATO expansion is number one, but I think we'd have a long talk about Europe rearming. Now, listen, United States has assisted you in the post-war era economically, militarily, and politically. You are more than capable of standing on your own. The European states are wealthy, they are powerful, but you lack major militaries. Now, up until now, it's completely understandable. We're happy to bear the weight of that as friends and allies to you. But at this point, I want to make this very clear. If there comes a conflict with Russia, y'all will need to be ready. We're going to be fighting on many fronts, and chances are we may not be able to protect you all. We would like to formally encourage, that will not make a requirement, that you will start to rearm and invest more into your military capabilities. I mean, economic power comes first, but many of you, I think, need to reevaluate your military policies. And I hope there will be support for that here.
We would like to tell the American government that over the past few years we have tripled the German defense budget. As one of the largest, we are now one of the largest primary spenders of defense in Europe now.
Good to hear. Damn fun to hear.
We would also like to ask the Americans if we can have a more private, personal discussion with the United States after these talks.
We absolutely can. We can always make time for the German government. But let's wait till we fight this coalition war first.
Turkey has not gotten any of that investment. I don't know what you're talking about, to be honest.
Sorry?
Do you know who has invested in us? Germany, but not America.
Have you spoken with any of my ministers about it?
Yes, and they've said they would.
Wonderful.
Where is it?
We have massive investments currently in a couple countries. I do have a little freed up, but I have already promised to invest a little bit here in Bulgaria. But after that is done, we will invest in Turkey. Remind me, what was the amount that my ministers agreed with you for?
I have no idea. We need military. That's all I have to say.
We asked for it first, Mr. Bush.
You are third in line, actually.
Well, we are more important.
We had investments for French, though. We never received any investments of.
In the early part of the game, yes, you most certainly did. Did you make another deal with us after that?
Sure.
Sorry?
You never made a deal with us. You never approached us for deals.
I thought we had one in the early part of the game.
We had one?
I thought we did. No, because you were being hostile. Never mind. Yeah, you're right. Well, I mean, we can have talks most certainly.
Mr. Bush, are you all right?
No. Sorry, I had a cough. But no, we can have that talk, but they'll have to be done in a more opportune time here.
Yes, but like I said, I think that France takes more precedence because we are actually one.
We're not gonna play the precedence game with y'all. Listen, gentlemen, this is not the time for decisiveness. We need to cooperate together. Now, the United States economy is large, and we can have many investments abroad, but we are working on building up Brazilian economy after their flatlining. I think we can all agree that a communist government in Brazil is a dangerous thing and more pressing. Would you not all agree that?
Yes.
Do you want to have a communist gun to the back of the United States' head? And Europe's for that matter? No, I didn't fucking think so. We're propping that government up, that economy up. When we're done with that, we will have large amounts of capital freed up to build up our NATO allies. But I want to reiterate, this will not come about strings. If we invest in you, we expect you to build deeper into the American economy, prioritize imports from us, and to cooperate more heavily. And I also would like to have more talks in the future, potentially about discussion of a NAFTA agreement with Europe. But that's for another time.
Look, Turkey is one of 2 NATO countries that actually border the communist threat, and we have no love. We have had no love from America.
No love. We included you in the Iran war. We cooperated with you at every turn. And I said that you will get those investments. But they're just not going to be right at this very instant.
Make no mistake, the Iranian war was a favor, okay?
A favor?
Yes.
The United States sending our people to fight and die for a nuclear power on your border. And we did you a favor? Or you did us a favor?
Yes. Yes, we did. I think you eat too much steak in Texas. I don't know. Your body has gone to mush. Your brain too.
What?
Mr. President, you wanna take a moment?
Ah, these fucking cowboys, man.
I think you need to take a fucking moment.
I wouldn't take that level of disrespect. That's.
I think you need to take a moment, cowboy.
No, I'm telling you to get the fuck out of this room if you didn't get my drift there.
I think the Turkish president needs to check his brakes.
We hang up on
Security!
You. You don't hang up on us. We hang up
Get
on...
the fuck out of here. Fucking cunt.
Someone's not happy. Jeez.
All right, I will be. I will. His brakes are gonna fail.
I think we need a. I'm gonna take a minute. You know, my wife Laura, She's I'm gonna watch my blood pressure recently over shit like this. She told me this to do the 5 breaths. One moment.
Yeah, grab my hand. Grab my hand, Mr. President.
Someone give me some fucking fried chicken. God damn it.
No, in and out with me. In and out. Breathe in.
I'm fine. I'm fine. God damn it.
Right.
Fucking Turks, I swear to God. Almost as bad as the French. God damn.
Agent Ricky, give me that goddamn chicken.
What are you mean? What do you mean, Mr. Bush?
God damn it.
Okay,
Mr.
I think
Bush.
I think we all need to calm down and drink some Austrian beer. Okay.
I think losing Turkey is fine, but losing France there would kind of hurt, Mr. Bush, wouldn't it?
Are you gonna threaten to go join the Russians again?
I'd like to.
If I have to, yes.
Go
I'd
right,
like
fucking
more
hell.
Stop acting like toddlers as they usually do.
Everyone,
we want
drink your
more
beer.
Respect. We want more respect from all the NATO members in here.
It's
Germany's
hard to
taking respect, and America also next respect. I want
Well,
some
you really
goddamn respect.
Wait, what happened? Wait.
Fucking hell.
You know what happened?
Mr. Bush was disrespecting me.
Okay.
I don't think that was true.
What exactly happened?
I'm not gonna exacerbate this. We gotta focus on this coalition effort, gentlemen.
I want a fast apology from the American government right now.
I don't know what happened. What happened?
Oh
God.
Hold on.
Oh God.
NATO.
What are we doing, Mr. President? It's a disaster, Mr. President. What are we doing?
Let's call a UNSC meeting right now.
Yes.
Oh my God.
Wait.
It's nuclear. The nuclear.
Should I get the other
Yep,
members?
get everyone. Let's bring everyone on in here. Let me find who's gonna be chairing this.
Yes.
All right, we are in 2006. That means that the UNSC president will be France. The rotating members of the UNSC are going to be Argentina, the Democratic Republic of the Congo, Denmark, Ghana, Greece, Japan, Peru, Qatar, Slovakia, and Tanzania, as well as the permanent UNSC members. France, you are going to be chairing this. You are the UNSC president. Just a reminder, when you are the UNSC president in the context of the UN, you don't just get to throw around your opinion and stuff. There's like a lot of procedure involved. You adopt the agenda, you choose speakers, and if people want to talk, you got to let them. So just a reminder that, like, you know.
I know.
Yep. Cool.
I know. I watched UNSC meeting.
Cool.
Like UN meeting. I know.
Good. So you get everyone else up here. China. And then the Congo. Yep, he's rotating. What other rotating members do we have? No. Guys, we got to keep it paused. At the very least, Russia, you can't be pushing because this is an emergency UNSC meeting. Like, if we want to keep the time going, that's fine, but stop pushing because, like, the US is going to take extreme action. Yeah, I mean, we'd launch.
But out of character, this is a surprise attack. That's the whole point.
I get that, but you started to move in, and the UN would, like, we don't have time to pick up the red phone, and we would threaten launches at this point. So, I mean, it doesn't make sense for you to keep pushing.
Launches against, you're not allied to them.
It doesn't matter. But we can get to this, but my point is, like, for you to keep pushing at this point, if we want to keep the time going and cap them, makes no sense. I mean, unless you would just ignore our threats, then, I mean, we're going to go that route.
That is going to be the Russian position.
I got to set up some launches.
You're going to nuke Russia for invading Uzbekistan.
Wow.
You invaded Lithuania.
Gentlemen, order.
Also
order,
not a NATO
order.
country.
I'm calling order.
It doesn't matter. Just like the U.S. is still able to take action even so it's not a country. I mean, we just had a whole talk with NATO about expansion and all sorts of stuff. So okay, so let's make this one.
US nuked over this. I gotta set up launches.
Because I mean, RPY is like, if you want to keep pushing right now, you'd be denying our call and what we're saying, and we'd take action. So like, do you want to keep the game going and keep pushing? Because then like we'll have to edit that in later, or do you want to stop?
We can pause the attack, but
Okay.
like,
Just hold your line where you're at right now. That's fine. Then we can go from there.
Tank, if you're in here, hold the attack.
Okay.
I got it. You got it. Please keep it paused. I'll have it. It takes
Just so
me a
you know,
second.
I'm also setting up launches right now because I don't
Yeah,
know.
I gotta set up all my launches while we're doing this too.
Oh.
Okay, other rotating members. Let's see. Do we have all the permanent members up here?
All right, you can unpause it now.
Okay. John, can I begin, or are we ready? Or
Make sure we're not missing anyone. If you are a permanent or rotating member of the Security Council, you can come up here to speak. The rotating members are Argentina, Congo, Denmark, Ghana, Greece, Japan, Peru, Qatar, Slovakia, and Tanzania. Just go ahead and raise your hand, and I'll pull you up here. Just remember, France will be the president. He will set the agenda and what we talk about. So, yep, let's go ahead and get going.
Thank you. Good day, gentlemen. Today, France is going to chair this meeting. This is an extraordinary UNSC meeting on the situation of the Russian invasion of Lithuania. And I'd like to talk about this first. This will be the first agenda that we're going to attend to. If you want to speak about this, if you have any concerns, then you may speak, or you may raise your hand and speak. For the permanent members and the rotating members, it is.
I would like to know who's called this meeting and what the issue is. We find no issue in our defensive actions against these terrorist republics.
Sorry, the UNSC recognizes the Speaker of Russia?
Yeah, again, we find no issue with our own actions. Perhaps this meeting's about the issue in the Nigerians. We do not know what's going on.
The agenda right now is the Russian invasion of Lithuania. This will be agenda right now that we speak first about, Mr. Juganov. I expect you to follow this.
Very well. We would like to report to the United Nations Security Council that the Lithuanians have nationalist rebel groups within their ranks and within their own militaries that carry out an attack on a Socialist Republic of Latvia in the city port of Liepāja. We have our intelligence agencies have concluded that this would be a state-sponsored terrorist action by the government of Lithuania. And this is not something that we would sit down lightly. As per the guidelines of the Fifth International, an attack on one is an attack against all, and we have responded what we feel to be proportionately.
Is that your whole statement?
No.
All right. Any more speakers?
United States would like to speak.
The UNSC recognizes the United States of America.
I'm here on behalf of the United States President to make it very clear to the UN Security Council that the actions taken hostile against Lithuania are a red line for the United States. Although they are not currently a NATO member, they were one of the countries that were recently being discussed for NATO expansion, and we do not acknowledge the supposed attacks against a Soviet state. As such, we have placed our nuclear forces on high alert and are at DEFCON 2. Any further movements by Soviet troops will be viewed as a hostile act against Europe, the United States, and the world as a whole, especially given that we have had confirmation from Mr. Zyuganov that they assisted the terrorist government in Iran and gave the community safe harbor in Moscow. These actions of the Soviets are clear. They abet terrorists, they take hostile action against European countries, and the United States will draw a red line explicitly at this point. We are ready to take action if needed, and we will not allow the Soviets to conquer the world.
Is that your whole statement, Mr. President?
That is our whole statement at this time, yes.
Thank you. Any more speakers on this matter?
Yes. Yeah.
The UNSC recognizes the Speaker of the People's Republic of China.
In regards of the threat of nuclear war, China has readied all of its anti-ballistic missile capabilities. We will not ready our nuclear arsenal. China will officially stand its nuclear arsenal down as to not be a target of any World War III nuclear strike, but China will only fire if any missile hits China. We'll only fire in retaliatory, we won't fire first. I ask that all UNSC members sit and think about this. We had this crisis before. This crisis happened in Cuba. Both, okay, different Soviet government, I understand. But if nuclear war is to happen, think of the people. They will suffer the most. As we've seen from reports, a nuclear war between US and Russia would end up in basically permanently altering the world. People would suffer starvation. I ask that everyone think about the people and think about you are basically sacrificing billions of lives for a nation. I would like just UNSC to think about that as well. That is all.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Any more speakers on this issue?
Yes.
The UNSC recognizes the Speaker of Slovakia.
Thank you. We have in the past seen what the Iron Curtain has caused, and we would like to see an end to this conflict as soon as possible. With our new government in place, we would like for Russia to formally remove their troops. I think that the right course of action would be an investigation into these supposed terrorist organizations that are targeting one of the Soviet puppet states.
Is that your statement finished? Thank you for your statement. Any more speakers on this issue?
We would like to speak.
I don't know what your country is, but I recognize you.
The Greeks do not support the Russians in this invasion with Lithuania, as this caused. This is a threat to Europe because Lithuania is near the border. As this, we do not think that Lithuania is in the fault and that the Soviets are a terrorist organization, like the President of the United States said that the Soviet is a terrorist attacking Lithuania. As this, we do not support the Soviets in this war. That's all I would like to say.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Any more speakers on this issue?
Yes, the Soviet Union will speak.
I think you already have spoken, so that means there's only one speech.
I would like to respond, please, to things that have been accused.
Denied. The French Republic will speak. I will now lay down my position as the UNSC president and now speak as a president of the French Republic. Gentlemen, we are at crossroads here. We are looking at a dangerous times. Russia illegally attacked Lithuania, which is a danger to the world. And as such, France also has put its nuclear arsenal on high alert and did send out its submarine fleet to meet any eventualities. We need to act now, and we should take decisive action against this unspeakable act of the Soviet Union. Thank you. I will now resume my position as the UNSC president. Well, should we now go to vote? Any resolutions on this, gentlemen?
The United States would like to make one?
The UNSC president recognizes the United States of America.
We would like to begin by formally proposing an official condemnation of the Soviet Union, and if their actions continue, we are going to take complete action. So I guess we could start with a condemnation.
Yes. I think any statements on this from any party here on.
May the UK speak?
The UNSC recognizes the United Kingdom.
The United Kingdom will keep this brief since we're already running long and matters are important. We would just like to note that this is not the way a sensible nation deals with issues. You know that previously when we have had problems with terrorists, we have come to the UNSC first before conducting any action. At least in our case. Russia has made no such request to the UNSC to support their actions. They have brought no evidence before us. They have brought no evidence before the world. We ask them to think very carefully about their next moves, for it is on them to climb down from this. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
The Soviet Union will speak now.
Yes. This UNSC recognizes the Soviet Union.
The Soviet Union will say that in the past, when the West has attempted to justify a conflict, they come to UNSC and they openly deny anything that they say. They flagrantly disobeyed the UNSC decisions and invaded the state of Iran. They gave bullshit justification and did not want investigations or whatsoever. So for this, we do not believe that the UNSC has the power to do anything, as they have directly limited the UNSC's power. Perhaps if they wish to only use the UNSC as a way of controlling nations that they disagree with, then perhaps it is not so impartial as once believed. We do not believe that that any of this is necessary. Our investigations have been very conclusive, as apparently were the alleged CIA investigations, and we shall say this. Any action taken against the Soviet Union or any of our Soviet republics will be treated, will be responded to very much accordingly. Our nuclear stockpiles are ready, and we will not back down from these actions. If you wish to descend the world into nuclear conflict, into fire and fury, we will follow you. We have set up nuclear strikes ready for the west coast of America, as well as the east coast, as well as America's puppet states in Europe. No state in mainland Europe will be left untouched if the Americans wish to escalate this.
United States would like to respond?
Granted.
The United States wants to make this abundantly clear. The situation of Iran was dealt with decisively. We had satellite images and we had evidence prior to the beginning of the war, as well as monitoring data for a nuclear test. After taking action due to the failure and vetoing of Russia to stop any attempts to investigate or ascertain the truth in Iran, we were forced to take action. And make no mistake, that action is what prevented Iran from gaining the nuclear weapons they needed to make strikes on targets in the Middle East and elsewhere. Our actions in the war proved decisively that we are telling the truth and that we found numerous nuclear facilities as well as productions of WMD facilities in Tehran. It was a terrorist government that launched an attack on September 11th on the United States and was dealt with accordingly. The Soviets' actions in assisting a terrorist government and a terrorist such as the Khamenei is already bad enough. Now we have seen them take decisive action. I will remind you all that many of you disagreed with the findings of the United States, which we do find still very disappointing. But the fact of the matter is, we did take this before the UN, we brought our evidence to the UN, and before we took any action, we talked with international communities, including Soviet Union, for that matter, and Mr. Zhukanov. As we can see here, the Soviet Union has done no such thing. They have declared unilateral military action on Lithuania, Uzbekistan, and Turkmenistan with no valid cause besides the fabricated ones, and agreed to no further attempts to investigate this. The United States does not want a nuclear war, but in our eyes, if they are allowed to annex these states, they will continue to move forward. I will reiterate, this is a red line. We have launch facilities ready in Arabia, as well as our coastal regions aimed at the Soviet Union and their client states, and we are ready to launch, and we will do so if a single troop from Soviet forces walks forward from the current lines they are at. Now, we will not allow for this to continue. Nuclear war is something that none of us want, certainly in the United States and in Europe, but at the same time, we cannot allow the Soviet Union to declare war on the whole world, which they will do after this. So the question is whether Mr. Zhukanov is willing to stand down his forces after this unacceptable, hostile act that has put the whole balance of world politics and balance at stake. Thank you.
Could China's
thank you for your statement. The UNSC recognizes the Speaker of the People's Republic of China.
With China having already been sitting here listening to, if negotiations are not going through, China will do its humanitarian right to offer all powers, all people of the world that do not want to be in the crossing fire of a nuclear war. I know everyone has missile defenses, and I know you'll be able to, but if nuclear war does happen, China is willing to launch immediate humanitarian aid into anywhere that is hit within Europe. We will help the people, as they are not the reason for this punishment. They should be helped if a nuclear war is to happen.
Thank you for your statement. Do you have any more statements on this?
No, that is all.
Yeah, thank you. France would like to speak. I will now speak as the representative of the French Republic. We are supporting the resolution of the United States of America. This is also a red line for us, and I would also remind the Russian president that France has also set up nuclear strikes right now, and we are ready to respond to any circumstances that Russia throws at us. Let me remind you that we also have a nuclear stockpile, and there's a saying: if you shoot first, you die second. And I want the Russians to remember that. Thank you. I will now resume my position as a UNSC president. Since we don't have any more statements, I think we can go vote now into voting. I will do a roll call.
Another statement.
Sorry again?
So we do have another statement.
Keep it brief, please.
To
Granted.
respond to the French statement, if you shoot first, you die second. We are not the ones shooting first. It will be the United States. And we will not back down. If the United States were to send this world into nuclear chaos, we will gladly go with them. All the United States will be washed with radioactive ash if they attempt to attack the Soviet Union with nuclear weapons. It is very sad to see that they wish to bully the world with their own nuclear technologies, and they attempt to control everybody. But this will not stand in the Soviet Union. We will either die a free people, or we'll either live a free people or die a free people. We will never be subjugated. That is all.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Now that we have no any statements, I believe, we can go into voting for this resolution. Remember, this resolution is condemnation of the Russian attack on Uzbekistan, Lithuania, and I think, who else? Can you help me, guys? I don't know.
Uzbekistan and Turkmenistan, they declared war on too.
Okay. Yes, and against Turkmenistan. I think we can now go to a simple calling of a vote. Slovakia will be first in line. Remember, you don't have a veto as a non-permanent member. You can only say yes, no, or abstain. So Slovakia, you vote?
Abstain.
UK?
That kingdom supports this.
Greece?
Greece supports this.
France is in favor. People's Republic of China?
Because of the attack on Turkmenistan and the attack and also the additional evidence, unfortunately, the Chinese will have to vote in favor, unfortunately, due to that.
Union of Soviet Republics?
This will be vetoed.
All right, but for a simple voting count, United States?
And we would, of course, vote in favor.
And Congo?
Abstain.
All right, this resolution fails because of the veto of the Union of Soviet Republics.
So let's have a quick out of roleplay talk. If the Soviets are not standing down, I mean, we need to, obviously need to have an edit. We're at war with each other, and then we're obviously going to launch. So, I mean, is that what we're doing?
Out of roleplay, you want to go to fucking nuclear fucking destination?
Yeah, I mean, this is what you're doing is like insane, man. Absolutely.
It's insane. Like the 2022 invasion of Ukraine? Is that insane?
There was a more complicated situation there. Lithuania and Uzbekistan and Turkmenistan is a whole different situation. You're also dealing with a conservative Bush presidency. It's very different than a Biden one. So,
and that conservative Bush presidency is probably not going to go to war and want to get
like again, you can do your own role play. You don't get to dictate to me what mine is. So we will launch. So again, are we moving that way?
You want to end the world and probably end this game because.
I mean, you made the hostile action here, so like that's kind of like we don't need to point fingers, but I'm going to make it clear. My role play for my government is such that we would take action here. So I mean, like, there's no debate on that.
Yeah, you're both free to play this out however you wish to.
Yep.
You shouldn't be calling each other out in here. This is not the place.
Yes.
So are we going that route? Because again, like, well, we have to have the rehost, I think, right now, and then we need to get an edit, so we're at war, so we can launch. I mean, is that what we're doing?
We're gonna hold our positions. We're not gonna withdraw.
Okay.
And I would like to remind everyone in the UNSC that we would at least, if you are both going to go to war, I would at least like it that maybe there'll be at least a week or two so people can respectively, if they do not wish to be caught in their fire zone, they can respectfully migrate to places that aren't taking part in what is frankly could be the greatest catastrophe war the world has seen since World War II.
Sorry, my apologies, ORP. I know I'm comparatively new here, but could there perhaps not be a situation, since it's not a nation which is core to either of you, that there could be a land war as opposed to instant nuclear launches until a point where...
I mean, these are the realistic ones, so like, I mean, like we could... I mean, what I wouldn't be opposed to, just for the sake of, I guess, the Soviet saving face and us not ruining this fucking game, is we'd agree to a situation where Lithuania gets split in half on the current borders, where basically you make your client state and everything else gets held how it is, and we basically just make a line there. So like the US and Soviets would agree to basically like just holding the current borders, and I mean obviously that area you've taken is under your control, but what's not is still like a government we're supporting at this point, and then we go from there.
Yeah, if we want to piece the war, we can have them have the two southern states, Sudovia and Vilnius. And then we'll take the north.
I mean, you didn't occupy Sudovia, the north one's taken.
No, we're not taking Sudovia, they'll keep Sudovia and Vilnius, and then we'll take the north. That's how we can do it.
Yeah, and then Uzbekistan and Turkmenistan would still just remain as is?
No, we're gonna still roleplay with Turkmenistan. We're just not gonna push into Turkmenistan and Uzbekistan yet.
I mean,
because this we've only talked about Lithuania. We haven't talked about Uzbekistan and Turkmenistan yet.
You're currently at war with them, though. That's the thing.
Yeah, but we're not pushing.
I'm aware, but I mean, were you in the war with them or the RP, or is it just gonna be like a continuation of the war kind of thing? But like, it's just
continuation because we still haven't talked about it yet. Technically, that war hasn't happened. It's a formal declaration. There's been no hostile actions.
I mean, that's a bit of a gray area, man. Like, you are actively at war with them.
Yes, but we're not actively fighting them, just as you asked.
I understand that, but my question is whether you will remain at war with them. Is my question.
Yes, I've said like 3 times yes.
Just clarifying. Okay. Well, on that note, I think we need a rehost. So.
Yes.
Cool.
But I think I need to move on with more resolutions.
We do need a second host. Hasting, are you able to host for us? Tink's got a dip. Do you mind? You're up for that? Or anyone able to host? Because our main host is gone. Do we have anyone who's able to do it? If not, we can end it halfway.
I mean, I could try.
Okay, Moose is gonna host for us. I'll send him the save right now.
Oh, okay.
All right, I guess then we're gonna in the UNSC meeting, and it's gonna be a Cold War situation. They'll still actively be at war with each other.
Yeah. I can do that. Yeah. Sorry, I thought it was up here.
No, you're fine.
I spoke into the void.
So I guess if we can do the edits next session. I mean, unless we need to do them right now. I mean, I guess we could, but if you can do them really quick, we could.
Would I have to start the game in debug mode to do that?
No.
Yes. Well, I mean, you could use commands if that's what you mean. You need to have your obviously your log open so you can make commands. But you should have that up.
Debug mode.
You just use console commands.
Yep.
That's all you gotta do.
All right, I'll go ahead and in this UNSC meeting here. I mean, we've gone on for a while, so. Alrighty, wait for hastening.
Do you want me to do the edits?
Yeah, if you can make them very quick, if you think you can.
I don't have time.
No, you don't have the time. Okay, we'll do the edits before next session. We'll get the rehost up. Are you cool to host it? Moose said he could, but I know your internet's way better.
I can just.
Okay, did you get the save, or do you want me to send it to you?
I got to save this.
Okay.
I meme named it because I thought I would just use it for. So it's called Nuke. Must say. I don't want the name of my save to influence people's actions too much.
All right. Also, out of RP, goddamn, he did do the rule of sniper. So the Nigerians did manage to set off a nuke in like 2 of our port cities. Dirty bomb.
Oh god.
Jesus Christ.
Oh no.
Yeah, I mean that's why we're ready to just launch.
Can I
at this
become
point.
America now?
Just confirming that. Yeah, you can.
Oh yeah.
So we just out of RP, so you guys know Cheney and Moose and Hanger. Harold wanted to do an RP where he's going to try and dirty bomb coastal cities with container ships as Nigeria as the caliphate, and they succeeded. So.
Okay, well, I'm
At this point, the U.S. is just like, I mean, oh man, we'll have to do a lot of talking.
We
before
have
next
to
session.
militarize. We have to militarize
Completely, yeah.
massively now.
I mean, that's why we will launch right now. If this
We have to have about triple our military than we have currently. Our current military forces are way too weak.
Oh boy.
Did it become a?
What the fuck is this game,
file?
man?
I think it became a temp file. Is that bad?
Yeah, I don't know if you'll be able to load that. I did get one. I can send that to you real quick.
Is there going to be nukes? Are we going to nuke each other?
I hope not.
Okay. I saved it, but it's named temp.
I really hope it doesn't resort to nukes.
Yeah,
I don't want to live in a bunker for the rest of my life.
I can try to host it and say.
I mean, I have to save, but and if people are loading in, should I?
Can I please speak to Mr. Bush immediately?
Yeah, we're doing our RP stuff real quick. Then yes, we're dealing with the game stuff. Then yes, absolutely.
And the announcements.
Right. All right. Also, we will have more people in the U.S., right? So I don't have to do all this.
Hey.
Yeah. Yeah.
Do either of you guys know how to set up nuclear launches in MD? By the way.
No.
All right, I'll work on that. If you guys will work on our military or economy and stuff like that, I'll set up all the rest of our nuke launches.
I'm going to work on the military.
It's being announcements.
Oh my murder.
So Morocco, I was going to try to talk to you. How do you feel about me trying to invite you men?
Discuss that somewhere else.
I mean, I'm not even Morocco's here. Okay.
Tell him to go. There's a lot of people right here.
Yo, Dustin, I sent my. Is I checksum right or nah?
Checksum is 5187.
No, that's wrong.
Oh, what the fuck?
5187. 5187 is correct. 51 Alpha 7.
Did you update the mod list on the website? That's what I gave them. Or what mods you using?
We removed the match one.
Hang on, I gotta relaunch my game because I had the wrong preset on. Hang on. I completely forgot about that. Yeah. I made a new preset.
I know you like you have the right mods in the playset, but then you launch with the same wrong playset. I know.
Yeah.
Forgive me, gentlemen. Is anyone going to address the nuclear terrorist attack by the Boko Haram?
Yeah,
New York was just nuked.
Hey,
Like,
Australia.
I mean, that's why we're acting crazy.
Ah, yes, New York has been removed. Thank God. Please nuke Chicago for me.
Dirty bomb, so it's gonna be like if you live there for like 5 years, you're gonna get cancer and die, but like it's not exploded up to nothing.
Yeah, it's
please blow up Chicago, just silence all the
But yeah, the UN General Assembly is also gone, so we probably had that like a teleconference.
Wait, what? I still can't join. What?
I mean, like a dirty bomb wouldn't like destroy the building. Like people would get like a large, like a dirty bomb.
What's the
It's
check?
not
No,
a
no,
nuke.
it's not a nuke, but even so, that's millions of billions of dollars of damage in like healthcare costs and all of that, like for all the cancers.
Like people would have to like move from New York. Like
It wasn't a
people
full
would
nuclear
survive
bomb
it.
though, because like Harold wanted to RP this thing where like they managed to get themselves on a dirty bomb, and apparently another player helped them. We don't know who that was, so it wasn't a full nuke. It was a dirty bomb. So
Yeah, exactly.
It's a dirty bomb.
So the building would be there, but Manhattan would be there, but like no one would be like everyone would be recommended to leave.
Yes,
Like the
it's
entire
not just
area.
New York, it was also Hamburg, Austin, a few other important cities. That's a good percentage of the trade or global economy gone. Those are important cities.
They also bombed Algeciras, which is right next to Gibraltar, so that would be
like there would be an argument for like half this like office sectors in New York to be removed.
And there would be an argument to send everyone into the recession. Like those are in big cities, like big trade centers. Like that you can't just evacuate New York and not have like a consequence for the whole global economy. You know.
Hey, this is getting too crowded. This is not a discussion channel. We're trying to get the rehost up.
Yep.
How are we looking there?
That's true. People are loading in.
I'm loading in as well.
But it's 49 people using my internet, so sorry for that.
Oh, good.
Seems like it's working for me.
I'm trying to right now. Join in.
I would just remind everyone that I made a save and Father would do an edit. I don't want people to use a nuke.
Oh, what's the checksum again?
Did Harold not ask permission from you first? Well, you didn't get hit. Only
Harold.
Germany, Spain, and UK did. I assume they all got asked.
I gave him permission.
Okay.
This is Australia speaking, but I did give him permission.
Yep. Did the others give permission to be nuked?
Yeah, I gave him permission.
Yep, cool.
I have to say the slowest we'll probably ever loaded in. Sorry, Gracious just got here.
The checksum for the game.
I'm not in yet, but
like how did they roll for that, Barry? With nukes?
D20, I think is what they did.
For what AC?
51A7 is the checksum.
51A7, okay.
Hold on, let me see. I can get in now. To the menu.
Oh, yeah, I checked the nuke map, and apparently 20,000 people would die from where he nuked me. So that's a
Okay. Fine.
Like.
My checksum
I guess
is
I'm the only one having this issue.
C2. What the hell?
Do you have? Okay, share your mod pack or playset, or can someone go down to like a hotline channel?
Here, I could just. Here, I'll stream my Hoi 4. Hang on.
I mean your
Yeah, my launcher.
Yep.
All right. Also, I want to take a second. I've been responding to all this fucking bullshit. Let me explain my perspective so y'all understand it, to give some context here, because I actually just had a bunch of people, a couple of people DMing me saying my RP is really unrealistic right now. The U.S. just got hit with a nuclear strike. I got contacted by the Nigerian player yesterday. He is playing the Caliphate, which is the Muslim terrorist organization that got power in Nigeria, who apparently he did RP with some other players where they basically managed to buy enough to make a dirty bomb, a couple of them. And in his RP, what he wanted to do, because this game, this session, this 4 World MD session was supposed to be built around terror. Like the focus of it, like the Soviet thing has happened, which is interesting, but the focus of this by the GC, the guy running it, was supposed to be, this was supposed to be the war on terror. Like it was supposed to center around like terrorism, the rise of terrorism in the modern world and stuff like that. That was the general theme of it. So what he wanted to do is basically make it very extreme. I think he went a little far with it, but that's kind of his choice. I mean, like, it's not unreasonable. Where he set up nuclear strikes. There was a system agreed upon with the GC where he basically got a roll a percentage chance that he would succeed or fail. He succeeded on a couple of them. So what happened was there were 2 attempts to basically hit dirty bombs with container ships in the US, one in Austin, which failed, and one in New York that succeeded, which hit. That happened just prior to the invasion of Russia of Lithuania. So Russia invaded Lithuania, Uzbekistan, Turkmenistan, right after a nuclear device went off in New York. We don't know who did it. obviously. We'd have no idea on the timeline, so... I mean, I know, like, Matt was yelling that it made no sense for us to prepare a nuclear strike, but given we just got hit by one, and we don't know who fucking did it, and a day later, Russia invades Eastern Europe, I mean, I think most of the heads of the military and the US government at that point would probably assume it was either done or orchestrated or involved with by Russia, right? So that's why that happened. Normally, if this was like a democratic presidency, we hadn't just gotten hit and stuff, the US wouldn't have threatened nuclear weapons, for sure. We would not have gone really far. We would have taken action, but it wouldn't have been like this. But again, we just got hit by a nuclear bomb, and as such, it makes no sense for us not to probably assume it was the Soviets, especially given we also just got information they assisted the Iranian government. So just to provide some context so people understand what's going on, because I want to make that very clear for things. I want to have that formally said, just so anyone watching is aware.
Okay, Ham.
Yeah, what's up?
There's two people having problem joining. It's Jay and...
Do we have a bugged lobby?
Loic.
We might have, yeah.
Okay, we'll need to do rehosting. They've been really bad lately. I don't know what's up with the Paradox servers.
Yeah, it won't let me in.
Yeah, we're 49 people in, but like, yes.
Even
hit the rehosting. Do it quick.
Yep, back to menu, sir.
Are we doing a rehost?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, by the way, Hastings, can you check your messages? I messaged you something.
Yeah, my game keeps on freezing when I try to join, and then it
No,
just
that's
doesn't let me in.
That's it freezes at first, and then after. If you go in after that point, it's just what I've seen because it doesn't.
Are you cutting out, man? Can you repeat that?
That if it and then you're not in yet, it means that it's bugged.
Oh, connection timed out, bruh.
Oh, the server. I think they're rehosting.
Yeah,
we're doing a rehost right now. Yes.
Yep, rehost right now. You came up to 49. God damn it! I hate this.
So just for clarification, do we have like a world one now or like no?
No, they're gonna stand down. We're just gonna hold the lines and stuff like that.
Okay.
Also, let's see. Let me figure out again who got hit. So we got hit once. Did any of the European cities got hit too, right? Yep.
You got hit twice.
Wait, what got hit?
No, we got hit once. There was an attempt on Austin and it failed.
Okay, my bad.
They launched nukes?
There was a dirty bombs out of RP. It's the Caliphate, but none of us know that it's Nigeria. So no one knows how it happened.
Yep. Everyone will think it's Soviets.
Can we assume that the UNSC resolution I proposed was passed, or will any UNSC members vote?
by the Soviets?
I thought the Australia guy was memeing when he said.
Did the Soviets veto the intervention in Nigeria? I didn't hear that part.
No, I couldn't because like people just left the channel because I couldn't like continue. I don't know. I think there was like time constraints.
Are people?
Which nations are open?
We'll remind everyone here. The idea is up. We are not gonna.
I wonder, is
we're gonna
Denmark
try to start as soon as possible because this got a bug lobby thing.
Yep.
I tried to tell Sniper that I might oversleep, and because I thought he was the host.
Alright, I'm gonna take a minute. This has been a hectic game. Ready to see the new thumbnails look banging. I'm glad you like them, Tall. Definitely put a lot of work into them. I resisted going the country ball path for a long time, but they look better, if I'm gonna be honest. I've been trying to figure out thumbnails for like a year now, and I get why a lot of people use country balls. They look good. It's hard to do. Alright, let's hop down and speak with... Alright, how's it going, guys?
What's the plan? Because I don't even know what's happening. Are we at war with Russia?
It's a gray area. So like again, so what the timeline of this is, we got dirty bombed in New York and they invaded a couple days later, which is why we escalated like that. They have agreed to stop pushing their forces, but they're still at war with those countries. We have nuclear forces on standby, so we're just probably at like DEFCON 1 or 2 still sitting there. Like, we need to launch an investigation in RP into what obviously happened, where they came from and stuff like that. So, yeah.
Well, didn't Nigeria announce they did it?
Publicly, yes. I mean, just now. But we don't know who they were working with or who they weren't working with, because we already have evidence that Russia supported an embedded terrorists in the Middle East, so it'd be pretty reasonable to suspect they might have helped the Nigerians, so. Because, I mean, they were timed right next to each other. I don't know if the players cooperated or not, but out of RP, I mean, in RP, the US government would certainly investigate and suspect they might have.
Forgive me. Oh.
We'll get saving us in between sessions. We're gonna go down on market cycles, and we're gonna delete a bunch of our stuff in New York too. Not all of them, but a good amount. Dirty bomb isn't a full nuclear weapon, but. I'm also going to grab another water real quick. I'll be right back. All right, back. What's up, man? Thank you for the raid, Evil Snowball. Appreciate that, man. What's up, dude? You got here at an interesting time. We're in a Millennium Dawn game as the US right now. It's a roleplay game. And there was almost a nuclear war with Russia. Russia went to Soviet Union in this timeline, and they invaded Lithuania and some of our states, right when a terrorist group hit us with a fucking bomb, so we almost had a nuclear escalation. It's been an interesting fucking game. But yeah, I appreciate the raid, man. What's up? Were you streaming Hoy, man? Got a new guitar. Hell yeah, itself. All right, so when we get back in, we'll probably have to talk to, I don't know at this point, the Soviets or something like that. You know, out of RP, where do you guys think we should go from here? I'm really uncertain. I mean, this...
Well... if we were to let it pass, like not retaliate in nuclear weapons, every further Soviet escalation will be met with, like, it will be met with nuclear strikes, because.
I mean, we can't stand that at this point because A, we've already drawn the line, and B, we haven't investigated what happened with the bombing. So, I mean, it makes no sense for us to stand out. I mean, I know the Russian group wants us to basically just let them annex all these countries despite this all happening, but it just doesn't make any sense.
So, if we do nuclear strike, the session ends. That's it.
I know, and that's why I don't want to see a fucking nuclear strike. I mean, not necessarily. I mean, the U.S. would just be gone, and Russia would be gone, essentially. And I don't really want to roleplay out a nuclear thing. I mean, but at the same time, like, I don't feel it makes any sense for us to break a realistic America RP to just let them start eating Eastern countries. I mean, like, it's not comparable to Ukraine for many reasons in this circumstance. So, like...
Yeah, because we just ended this goddamn whole day, and now it starts another dawn, and it's...
And I don't want them to let us hold us hostage and be like, well, the U.S. needs to let us conquer these countries or you're going to kill the game. I mean, that doesn't make any fucking sense. We're not doing that. So,
yeah.
Yeah.
We have to continue talks with Russia. Like,
I know.
They have to back down. There's no other way.
I guess we need to have an out of RP thing with them where they're not just like saying shit. Like, I mean, probably with a GC.
Mm-hmm.
All right, I'm gonna mute my stream real quick, and I'm gonna go jump to the GC with Matt, and we need to talk this out so this doesn't go stupid. 1 second.
All right. Best of luck with that.
All right, guys, I'll be right back. I want to have an out of RP conversation. I don't want like dirty laundry out, so I'll be right back. We'll go from there then. We got somewhere we can go. Let's go grab all the NATO members and get a NATO meeting going.
George, have some help in reconstruction.
I would just like to offer our condolences.
Do I have permission from the US to close off the Danish Straits with the help of the French Navy?
Not right now. We're not doing that yet. We need to wait. We need to determine what's going on before we start a nuclear World War III here.
Okay.
Where are our volunteer divisions?
We're calling a NATO conference right now in London. Get every single NATO member up in NATO. Let's all grab them, and we now have a talk up here.
All right. Hey, Turkey isn't leaving. They're just not following whatever NATO's doing. Which
that's basically leaving.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, because we. Yeah. So this is such a gray area, though.
By NATO, it's leaving.
Yeah.
But there's I don't think there's any way to kick out Turkey. I don't think that's.
No, there is a thing we can do, but I don't think it would make any sense for us to RP-wise try and kick them out. Are we missing anyone in NATO right now?
Is the Indian government allowed a delegation?
Can I come as an observer?
Yes, certainly. But I mean, give NATO precedent speaking status.
I will not interrupt.
Okay, are we missing any NATO members?
Turkey and Germany.
Can someone go grab them?
Can't. Their channel's full.
I'll get them.
Awesome. They're with Algeria and stuff.
Yep.
Until they get here, then let's discuss what we're gonna do here.
Jesus Christ. I'm spending so much on fucking weapons.
I'm sending massive military support to Italy.
Awesome. My division's here. So is everyone else's.
Turkey is supporting the nationalists.
Do we have an AI bug, or is one of my co-ops doing our focuses?
Oh, it's AI problem.
We have an AI bug. All right, god damn it.
Again?
Yeah, more co-ops tend to do it.
This is so much.
I think we got everyone. All right, so RP West. All right, we are gathered here in London to discuss the NATO situation. As many of you know, we came very close to some very existential crisis there with the Soviet Union. Now, just to reiterate to the NATO members to make you aware what was happened, New York and Houston were struck with attempted nuclear bombs. They were not sophisticated, and they were in a basic form. We managed to kill the terrorists who attempted it in Houston, but New York, we are working on recovery efforts there right now. It's the second time it's been attacked in the last 4 years. Now, given this, and given the fact that the Joint Chiefs suggested that we did not know where it came from, and given the predisposition of Moscow to cooperate with terrorists like we saw in Iran, we could not rule out the fact that the Soviet Union launched a strike, they hit a strike on us in combination with terrorists, which obviously was at the same time as their invasion as Lithuania. To start off with, we would like to apologize to our NATO allies for taking extreme action without consulting you. But you have to understand that the United States has been attacked for the second time in 5 years. We don't know where it came from, and we cannot rule out the Soviet Union yet. As such, we feel that we are completely in our right to act there. As such, we are obviously invoking Article 5 of the NATO Treaty, as we have been attacked. Who has attacked us? We do not know. It appears that there is a lot of evidence to suggest that it was Boko Haram, who we have now dealt with. But we do not know if they were abetted or assisted by anyone. Until such time, America is at DEFCON 2, and we are going to be on preparation for any action. We need to discuss two things at this meeting. The first of which is stopping the civil war in Italy from this rogue general, and the second of which is to discuss the future of NATO, as we heard a shocking number of comments suggesting that our allies in Europe were not going to stand by us after we were attacked. Let's get the easy one out of the way to start off with, which is Italy. The United States is obviously preparing to send, we've already sent forces to Italy to help push back this rogue general, and we obviously are going to be hopefully correspond this. Our other NATO members also sending volunteers to push out this Italian general.
Croatia and Spain have already sent volunteers.
We will be sending military forces.
France will not send volunteers, but France will provide extensive material support.
Good to hear. Any particular reason France is not directly involved with themselves?
We need to recover from the invasion or the military action taken against the Caliphate. The troops are still coming back, and equipment is kind of scarce.
Very well. In that case, we will show them the burden in this war on terror yet again. We need to speak on the bigger issue now, though, which is the fact that the United States was hit, and there is many talks of a NATO. I can understand the desire to not involve yourselves in a nuclear conflict. That I can most certainly understand. But there is no debating that we were attacked, and there is no debating that you all have signed treaties that beholden yourself to fight in defensive conflicts. Now, we got very close to the edge with the Soviets and we've stopped, though that is still on the edge. Until we can ascertain what exactly happened in New York and how we were hit, the America wants to know quite plainly, is NATO still standing?
Croatia still stands with the United States.
France is following Article 5.
Germany stands with its American allies.
We'd like to hear from all the NATO representatives here.
Turkey stands with America.
Spain stands with America.
Very well. In that case, we will assume our commitments continuously and prepare for any action which is necessary. God willing, it will have been only the Nigerians and we have taken action, and we will build a new government there. However, if links are found between other powers such as the Soviet Union, Article 5 still stands, and I hope you all understand that and are committed. If it is not, we will need to pursue an action of de-escalation of the Soviet Union to prevent outright nuclear war at this current time. I think, frankly, we are going to need to discuss the possibility of Lithuania being taken back into the fold in order to stop a nuclear crisis here. But that brings us to the question of the European NATO borders and what we're going to do from here. There are several countries that border Russia currently that are not NATO members, including Poland and Romania, I believe, as well as Slovakia and Moldova. We need to start discussing. Yes, of course.
Slovakia will be joining they will be joining because I've convinced them earlier. They've already explained their intention to join, I believe.
Very well.
Just
that's good to hear.
Out of roleplay, they need to do all the focuses and whatever they need to do.
The Federal Republic of Germany, let's speak.
Of course, Chancellor.
When it comes to expanding our NATO borders further west, further east, I mean, we would like to highlight that there are fears and there are consequences attached to it. If, for example, we expand our borders to Poland, well, that puts a direct line of path for Soviet forces to enter into Berlin, if they were to ever choose to do so. Including nations are very helpful. Expanding our alliance is very important, but we must make sure that when we're expanding our alliances, we aren't just opening a much greater front for our forces to fight.
Chancellor, if the Soviets were to get to Berlin, at that point, do you really think that will be the biggest issue on the planet?
Absolutely.
If there are Soviet forces in Berlin, there won't be many powers in Europe left standing. You understand modern war very well. We all do. And I think building a conventional military system to enforce our border is fair. But any conflict with the Soviet sphere will result in only one thing, which is why we have to be vigilant and careful moving forward. But resolute.
Are we all stuck on the 7th of March?
Yeah, someone's lagging, I think.
Yeah.
Who was lagging?
Yeah, if someone needs to be kicked, tell me.
It doesn't say we might. Did we have a crash or something? Because no one's lagging right now.
No,
I'm stuck in
I'm completely frozen behind.
Yeah.
So someone paused, but on my end. On my end is the host. So.
Oh, Hastings, you're lagging behind. Wait, what?
He's the host.
How can a host lag behind? You were a bit behind me.
It's fine now. It's fine now.
I'm on the 10th of March on my end.
I'm just frozen on the 7th of March.
It says that
it's
everyone
moving
else
really quick now.
Lagging.
I saw a host the day behind me. What the fuck?
Oh, it's paused.
It's
still not for me.
It's just frozen for me.
Yeah,
why everyone catch up.
I'm on 10th of March, and like everyone else does is like going up.
Yeah, just why
everyone else is going up until the 3 at the 10th of March. I don't know what happened. And now we're on.
Make sure the game.
Yeah.
It's paused and it isn't paused for me, and it still say it is paused.
Yeah.
Make sure it's paused because people are
okay, everyone is stop like pausing and unpausing because now X.
We're rolling again. I think.
Moving. Yuri.
Yeah, cool.
There it goes. There it goes.
All right. Back on track then. My point is, I think a conversation needs to be had about Poland. which is regarding whether or not we want them in NATO. I mean, they are a far-right government, to be sure. They are a dangerous government, but if we allow them no protection, the Soviets will likely simply eat them up and add them to their sphere and their growing power. And this is more of a question of identity for NATO and for the future. We abide by Western systems, by democracy, and by our values. And although they do have elections, that is a very extreme government in charge there. How do we want to approach this?
The creator representative would like to ask if they still upheld the democratic values, or they still hosting elections, or the freedom of choice, all of that. Do they still have their fundamental human rights in Poland?
I don't think democracy and NATO are mutually exclusive.
And Austria is a military junta.
Out of context, what?
They said they're gonna post an article explaining it all. Just they've gone.
Another nationalist government. Wow.
Wow.
So creative, beautiful. I mean, we'd probably have to discuss throwing them out of NATO too, frankly.
What's
Why?
They're a military dictatorship.
They're nationalists. I mean,
No, wait. They're gonna post an article explaining it. It's just that they've had to go right now. So just like, give them a bit of time.
Turkey doesn't see a problem with non-democratic NATO members.
Turkey may not, but the United States certainly does.
I'm sorry to interrupt, but Turkey sent volunteers to the opposite Italy. Just want to let you guys know.
Yep, I was wrong. I didn't know which one.
Oh, my bad.
Accident?
Greece has, and so has the Philippines. Which
Well,
reminds me of another issue.
Yeah, they're right
What's
now.
with you guys?
Greece is justifying on Eastern Macedonia.
We've already sorted that issue. We will be intervening, at least me and USA.
Yeah, we will not allow Greece to invade Macedonia.
Then
I will be joining this.
Yeah.
Okay.
What happened?
Oh god, the ID thing.
Yeah, there was 3 people. God.
3 people. Hang someone and kill him.
That's why he's a co-op, so it's not the end of the world.
No,
I wasn't the only one. Those 3 people.
Gentlemen, let's stay on task here. In regards to Poland, are we going to pursue NATO membership for them? We've heard from the Turks.
Yep.
Croatia votes yes.
France votes yes.
China, may you leave? It's a NATO meeting.
Yeah, I'll come back later. Let me just find.
There we go.
Given the dangerous circumstance with the Soviet Union, the United States will support Polish NATO membership.
Where's the UK? I just realised.
Is he even still in the game?
Yes, let me go and get him.
Did anyone tell him we were having this meeting? I have so many players, I can't keep track of everyone. Okay, good. In that regards, we'll need to send a representative to Poland to discuss NATO membership with them. The other one is Romania. I mean, they are a democratic government, not a lot of government still, but they do, as we all know, have huge nationalistic movements in their country, shockingly. Are we also going to approach them?
Same question again. Can the Romanian representative confirm their citizens have the basic human rights? And
currently, the Romanian government is going
They
through
released Andrew Tate.
bad times, to say the least. For one, financial troubles are a big thing. I'm sure that investments by NATO members would start turning the people.
That was not my question.
Also, out of RP, when did Georgia get annexed in Armenia?
I have no idea. I just know.
So I guess they RP'd it. The players are on there.
There were puppets, so he just did it that way.
Okay, sounds good.
Just like Kazakhstan and Pakistan are puppets. He will eventually annex them.
Gotcha.
Well, what about Italy? They're now back. I think we should offer them NATO membership again, because
most certainly. We'll need to speak with the government there. Okay,
Yeah,
so
really,
Romania, are we going to approach them for NATO status too? And Hungary?
Yes.
Okay, sounds good. And then Moldova, it seems to be lost. The Russians have been putting huge amounts of power on them.
I would also, I don't know about Bulgaria.
Bulgaria is not joining. Croatia will deny because they are currently invading Macedonia, most likely with the Greeks.
They are not currently justifying.
Yeah, that will not happen. France are
They're
supposed
a
to do
Western
it.
outlaw government. Why are they assisting in a unilateral military war?
They have made an alliance, from my knowledge, because I was
Keep in
advised
mind,
to it.
this is the same Bulgaria that wanted American nukes. I'm not surprised.
Very well. In that case, what about the Greece question of Macedonia? I mean, I assume like if they invade, we're just going to intervene directly in Greece, correct?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay.
I'm already preparing a
I mean,
military.
they are a fascist government. The Golden Dawn, like, let's be very clear, that is a neo-Nazi fascist government. I mean, we need to overthrow that.
Understood.
There's a time we wouldn't even debated things like this, but given the present state of the world, I think we need to start really being honest with ourselves about bringing order here. And if that requires boots on the ground in places that shouldn't need it, I think NATO needs to be committed here. Which speaks to a bigger question. NATO has historically been a defensive alliance, and it will remain so. There is precedent for NATO becoming more active in its actions. And one of the things I also want to bring up to kind of end this is the question of where NATO's identity will go from here. We have a return of the Soviet Union. We have a hostile Soviet Union that not only works for terrorists, but takes unilateral military action. We have a China that is at best complacent and ignores the world's circumstance. And we have nationalist governments rising up all across Europe and the world. Now, we all know that a government is very different than the people and what they believe. And we need to ask ourselves if we want to simply allow this to happen, or if NATO wants to take a more active role in defending democratic and Western values. America stands ready. We have declared a war on terror, and we are fully committed to that war. But the question is, are the other NATO members?
Croatia yet again stands with America.
Czym się ustawiało dym?
Co?
Czym się dym dawało?
Co?
Dym.
Someone paused.
I'm gonna mute him real quick. Before the other NATO members, I'd like to hear from you. I mean, like, what your thoughts are here. I mean, where we're going.
I think that France stands with America. I think that a more proactive stance is needed in this world climate right now.
Germany agrees with the US sentiment.
Turkey stands with France.
You're standing with NATO, right?
Yeah, whatever France says, I'll back them.
Okay.
Okay.
In that case, let's discuss where we're going to go with that. I mean, I think intervention in Greece, when they take action, is step number one to bring some order back into Europe. The other thing is that we have a nationalist... oh no, they're a monarchy, they're constitutional monarchy. I can't keep track of all these fucking nationalists in this game. There's so fucking many of them.
I cannot
It's
blame you.
just like it's turning into a Road to 56 game, like, Jesus Christ. I swear.
It's not whack-a-mole so much as bash-a-fash.
Yeah, for real. Beyond that, let's see. We have obviously the terrorist government in Nigeria has been dealt with. We need to work on building up that country. So I think obviously collaboration with them economically and ensuring that we have a very aggressive stance against them in terms of anything, if the Salafists wish to come back in power. In terms of Europe, I think those are the only main nationalist countries besides the Austrians. And someone said he's writing an RP to justify what he's doing, right?
Yeah, Germany did.
Yeah,
Okay.
he said he was. He's just that he's had to go real quick, so he hasn't been able to explain it.
Okay, sounds good. Well, in that case, let's take action in Greece. And, there's also the...
Should we get someone to get Italy back into NATO?
Yeah, that we can do that in the save edit.
We need to send someone to speak with their government, though. It is a player thing.
Yeah.
All right, very well.
The
The other question that does need to be brought up is the question of the Suez.
Oh, yes.
We have an
Gaddafi.
emerging outlook. I mean, Gaddafi's a complicated man, but in recent times he cited more Russia. He did take the Ayatollah and hit him briefly in Libya before transferring to Lebanon, and there's a history of working with the Soviet Union. They have formed a pan-Ba'athist government with Egypt. The issue is they do currently control the Suez, and if things heat up with the Soviets, they may very well try and shut that off. It's in the Mediterranean. It borders many NATO states and NATO observers like Israel, and is a strategic threat at present.
Well, if they close the Suez, I can just close the straits to Russian trade ships.
The issue is not quid pro quo here. The issue is the loss of economic value, and the global economic crash for Western markets would be unparalleled. That would end the Western economies, which is already absolutely crashing. I mean, we had to close the U.S. stock market. we did open it back up, and the U.S. economy is currently undergoing the greatest fall it's had since the Great Depression, and we've seen the same across most of the world.
In the United
The Suez
Kingdom, we
being
feel-
closed would make things pretty untenable, economically.
We don't believe that it's worth. Well, we have some experience with going after Suez, and unless there is a clear and present danger to our trade and our ability to move ships through it, we believe that it would be a mistake.
There is a rogue general in charge of a self-proclaimed Ba'athist state which has heavy ties with the Soviets. I mean, is that not a clear and present danger to you?
Our concern is that if we were to attack him, that would be pushing him further into the hands of the Soviets.
Yeah, we agree.
There's only
He's
so
already
far
in
we can
deep
stretch
with
our
the
resources.
He's already
Does
in deep
anyone
with the
here have a
Soviets.
relationship with Colonel Gaddafi such that you think they could realistically make him not cooperate with them? For
Correct,
all his
it does.
claims of being in the middle, let me reiterate, he has held and facilitated the hiding of a terrorist of the United States.
But he
connected with
gave
the
it over
attacks
to
on September
Jordan.
11th. He did, but he still had the committee in Libya.
I mean, we have good relations with Gaddafi.
Do you think that you could realistically get him out of the Soviet sphere and away from their dangerous actions?
Maybe.
I believe the colonel is indeed trying to ride the line.
I don't think that works, to be honest. I previously talked with Mr. Gaddafi, with Colonel Gaddafi, and he is not willing to cooperate that much with America.
To be
On
fair,
NATO.
That is
the
not what
relations
we need.
between-
We just need him to be neutral.
He-
so
he
our-
sees
And
us all as
don't get me wrong,
imperialists.
I'm not suggesting a full-on like invasion of the United Arab Republic. I'm suggesting we occupy the Suez Canal.
to be fair,
In all
France,
fairness,
the United
when-
States and yourselves are not the least controversial powers in the Mediterranean at the moment.
What we did.
You'll
what we
forgive
did
me
to
if
build
the
up
United States cares
Mediterranean-
little for controversy at the current state
I-
of things.
Yeah.
I would like to state that when Britain went in with very similar justifications in 1956, they were shunned away by all of the globe. Yet
Had Britain just
exact same
experienced a
forces
terrorist
where the
attack where one of their major cities had been hit with a nuke? Did the Soviet Union currently at that time have invaded several
We
bordering
suffered
countries
as
and
well
threatened
from the
NATO?
same-
I mean,
we suffered as well from the same terrorist attacks, but we can't act without concrete evidence.
perhaps an alternative then.
God.
The United States would propose positioning one of its fleets in the British base on Cyprus, such that in the event that the Suez was closed, we could immediately take action to open it back up again.
Side note: Greece was happening in 3 days in game.
If the UK denies, if the UK denies, France offers Corsica as a base for America.
Just
we are
send
willing
them
to have
to
the United
Turkey.
States base themselves there. We already have fleets east of Suez in the Kuwaiti.
I mean, we could also dock it. We could speak with Israel about docking or Turkey. I mean, generally, because I mean, NATO countries are obviously European countries, and we are partners with you. And we're just trying to generally ascertain the support of the placing of a major American fleet in the Mediterranean there to potentially take action if it is needed.
Can we also place Air Force?
I think, given details of the conversation, I think the
What
Indian
about,
delegation would have to leave.
what about we apply massive pressure to Gaddafi?
I don't
Like,
believe
what
that
pressure do you have to exert over him?
Iran is justifying against Iran.
We have another conflict in Iran. Yes.
Oh God damn it!
The militias are uprising again.
We're gonna let's deploy forces there then.
Yep.
Israel
That they-
will welcome an American fleet on its shores.
Germany will mobilize its naval fleet to the Persian Gulf.
I don't have a guarantee on Iran.
Oh shit.
They're in our faction. It's fine.
Okay, good.
They're a US puppet, so.
Hammurabi? I cannot control half of the army. I
I know, I'm
cannot
doing it right
assign
now.
any division.
Yeah, you decing Tanger, that's why.
Yeah, I mean, I can control half of it, but you know.
This is Greg Freeman of Australia. I'm a NATO, major non-NATO ally and observer of the alliance. I've been listening in. Am I allowed? Can I say something?
Of course.
Yes, go ahead.
I have always been aspiring to join this faction. However, due to the name North Atlantic Treaty Organization, I've been geographically not allowed to. Seeing as the current times, the United States and the UK both know I'm strongly allied with them, and we've worked very closely together economically and militarily with R&D facilities in both our countries. Are we allowed to set aside the geographical factor?
That's the other
How
question I think I
Australia-
almost completely forgot about that Australia brought up. Do we want to basically end the NATO system and just simply make it a new system wherein we could include many states that aren't in Europe, given the present danger that the Soviet Union is exerting across the globe, and allow such countries as Australia and India and people like that to join this this group? Or do we want to keep it as it is?
At this point, just China as well.
Yeah, but China's its own faction. I mean, I would.
China's
I would
more
wait for
complicated.
China-
We have a dialogue open with China.
Yeah, I'd wait for China to grow their faction before we grow ours.
Well, it's not in response to China, it's in response to Russia. I mean, and if they take that the wrong way, that's unfortunate, but...
But that's what they're going to do.
There are many... I mean, we could talk with the Chinese first, but there are many... And you're right, they will take it that way. But, I mean, there are many countries that are not currently under the protection of the treaty-like NATO system. That's the issue here.
Also, in addition to this, Australia is already guaranteed by the United States. So...
Yes, but there are others that are not. I mean, and it sets the
Right,
precedent, right?
If we are able to recruit more members from Asia, Africa, because I know certain states would be interested.
It's happening.
Let's go.
Attack Macedonia.
Germany.
America is joining.
France is going in.
Join the war.
We'll ask for a request to join the war. We have our air assets prepped and ready.
Yep, same.
I can call you in, Germany.
We have
Estonia, massive from Japan.
are you invading right now? Does anyone have naval invasions right now? Currently,
France is going in with a naval invasion.
All right, we
I
can fire
my
dropping then.
forces.
Can we fire drop?
Whoever prepared
Can we
those
fire drop?
paratroopers, do you want me to launch those?
Yes, launch them. It will massively. Maybe the one near the border will not succeed, but it should grow their entire.
We actually don't have air supremacy. I don't have enough air bases over here.
We also get the UK called
We
in.
should be able.
I just
They
told
should make
Bosnia.
secretary.
Can Turkey claim the Aegean Islands?
Most certainly not.
The game got paused. What the fuck?
King Kong paused. Maybe they have a good reason. If
Only
there's
if
with
we
the
had
GC,
Italy.
that's fine.
Why
Only
would
if
Turkey
there was-
claim the Aegean?
France is firing a round of Tomahawk missiles against Swiss air bases.
Who is currently in this war? Because we need more air bases to station American planes.
Croatia.
Okay. We're gonna need to get Croatia built up militarily. We need more air bases there.
Do not move
I
the.
have no industry. I have 3 civs.
Do not move the transport wings. They are needed for paradrops.
I understand
Bosnia
that.
is
I am
in
not
the
moving
war.
them, but we also won't be able to drop without air security.
The German Air Force is contesting the Greek forces.
Okay.
Yeah.
Alright, we have
Station
yellow
over.
now.
Can we be called in? UK, this is.
Just
Are we
request
calling it?
Croatia.
Okay, call to arms. We should accept it, right?
Yes, I'm not getting the notification. If you do, because like DS is
I
really
do.
bugged right now. Go for it.
Just
Oh,
ask
God.
Croatia to
It's
join.
so bugged.
UK, I called you in.
Cheers.
Shit,
French Air
dude.
Force engaging Greece Air Force right now.
Alright,
should
we
go
have
for
landed. We
it.
have landed with the, with not supply because AI. That's why.
I've got some transport aircraft heading there as
I
well.
hate AI. It's why.
We're getting the port. We're getting the port in Kalmata. They're not defending it. We're getting
We're
a
landing?
there.
I will
Do we
send
have
my
forces
division
on nearby in the region? We're gonna need to also do a massive recruitment drive and massively update our deployments in Europe.
So their Peloponnese has been cut from the rest of the Greeks. The same with capital. They cannot reinforce their capital. So
This will reinforce the Greek front here.
Yeah,
they
they're
have.
pushing.
You can naval invade anywhere. They are not protecting their ports.
I'll just.
I don't have naval tech.
We don't really have the ability to deploy forces to the region right now, but we will be throwing as much air as we can on Akrotiri to support the rest of you.
I am sending in my divisions, France, to help you push.
We're dropping right now.
Yep, 14 divisions are on the way.
Hammurabae.
Power drop there if you can to keep Macedonia alive.
I don't think we can.
It doesn't even. Would it even matter? 'Cause
We got a naval invasion
doesn't-
plan too. I didn't see
It doesn't
that.
matter. They will fall, but,
We'll
but the
liberate
naval
it.
invasion is happening.
Yeah, we'll have to liberate it.
Yeah.
Let's go.
Block those paratroopers. We landed too in Thessaloniki. We have the Thessaloniki. I need reinforcements there though. Last stand's not allowed, right?
Here, Call Turkey and you can have my air bases.
French troops are approaching Athena. Afin.
I need support in Thessaloniki.
We need.
He just broke the rules. He transferred state during war.
That's not allowed. Oh god damn, that's so fucking gamey. Jesus Christ. We'll deal with it later. It's fine. Just let it go. We'll get that dealt with.
We need naval support in the Adriatic and Central Mediterranean Sea.
Deploying it now.
Central Mediterranean too.
Sitting in special forces, we've got them crossing Gibraltar right now.
Greek forces are in.
No, well, AI, stop moving the. Okay, AI just moved paratroopers.
Can someone send a division to take out?
AI is moving paratroopers. I cannot do anything.
Just let it go. It'll be fine.
I'm dealing with the main land right now.
I'm sitting in my castle that we have those bases in.
Yeah.
In Turkey.
We need naval invasion in the mainland Greece fast.
Deep breath. We'll get there.
Our navy's on exercise, and what should we set this navy to?
It is. Yeah. Let me deal with that.
Okay, but why is that not
Okay, we're pushing mainland Greece.
Yeah, I'm pushing.
Alright.
Pushing.
Awesome.
Alright, we have naval superiority now.
We've engaged their navy in the Aegean Sea.
Yeah, they're getting bombed to shreds in the army.
Alright.
We need a naval invasion on Crete. That's where that capital is.
Admiral Werstrom is engaged in the Greek navy right now.
Oh shit, boys.
Looks like you're winning.
Already 2K Americans lost their lives. Could AI stop moving airborne, please?
What are we doing?
It's sunk one of their corvettes.
Okay, I'm clicking this button, going to this button.
Wait,
and
why
then-
does Bulgaria has Macedonia now? What?
Roll bright.
He transferred it. Is a roll break. We'll deal with it later.
Out afterwards.
Hammurabae, could you go to a Croatian port, the one that borders Yugoslavia, assign that one division and naval invaded to Athena?
That division is not there. He's already on the front lines.
So I think.
Am I lagging behind?
Most likely.
To Bulgaria.
I'm probably lagging very much behind them. Wait, what time am I?
You're also desynced completely right now, so just remember that.
Philippines has sent divisions.
Might as well just quit the game because it's worthless now seeing that it's completely desynced.
Classic Philippines moment.
Could you could somebody screen share actually? I want to see.
I would, but my internet will crash.
Yeah, successfully sunk the majority of the what's it called? The Greek navy.
Jesus Christ, that's encirclement.
Yeah, no,
Oh my God.
He got naval bases and he's trying to, or not naval bases, military bases, and he's trying to leave. Like,
We've deployed a secondary fleet to the Aegean too. They'll arrive there. They're going through the Suez right now.
Force Bulgaria to release Macedonia. It's an illegal occupation.
It looked a lot different on my side. I thought that there was no naval invasions, but this looks way differently. Oh.
Can I join NATO club?
Who asked?
South Africa.
You're gonna have to RP, but yes.
Damn. Okay.
Also, what was the decision on potentially allowing Australia?
We'll ask that in a second.
The decision we're still need to debate that. Australia, I apologize, but we just are having a full NATO conflict in Greece.
No worries. I see that. I have volunteers sent here as well. But
nice work.
Just let me know.
We'll have that conversation as soon as we have dealt with this Greek nationalist government and the fascists in Athens.
Fucking hell.
Cracker, Jesus, could you check the casualties?
Their fleet is gone in the Aegean. We have complete naval supremacy.
Oh, so the paradrop worked, right? Or did it not?
Yes, it did.
Ish.
Okay, thanks for God.
The German forces have reached the front.
Nice.
Yeah, he literally left all the Greek.
We're putting up our
army
close
just
air
left.
support.
He's retreating into Bulgaria.
Yeah, that's what he's doing.
Alright, well, we know who our next target is.
I mean, we gotta have an RP talk with that player too, because he's a fucking democratic government completely. Like,
he's pro-Western, yeah.
Yeah, we also need
mechanically
that
the game wouldn't allow it, and
we just need that being taken and it's over.
Yeah, we'll do that.
I do not have naval invasion technology.
It's
Oh,
over.
confirm
Everyone
and
has-
exit.
France would like have Crete as a
You
base
will be getting
for
no
NATO.
territory. We are going to be making a
No
new
territory.
government as a part of NATO. NATO does not annex territories, and
transfer resources.
Yeah, I was just gonna give it to America.
what do you think about demilitarizing it?
Won't that create a separate,
No,
separate
we,
state?
we need
because
the government to have a
DCI is
military
broken?
because we are in these times.
You want to keep? We need to keep them a military.
We are in these times where
Soviet threat.
every nation we have needs one.
That's true. All right, we'll just
We
go
need
change
a-
government then.
Yes.
I
A
suggest
strong
also
Croatia,
taking resources.
not a strong.
Make sure
a
I did this right
strong
too. It's
Greece
everything.
needs help. Anyway, Bulgaria.
Did I change their government just to check?
How can I check actually?
I don't know. It's so buggy. The thing.
You have
Oh,
EU
well,
and islands only.
Yes, you have changed governments. You can click on the US and see on the right side.
Okay, I know, but there's more states that say that I can change governments. So I'm a little worried.
Yeah, that's a bit worrying.
What if I
Change it all
select
to
all?
Western.
Yep.
Better safe than sorry.
Yeah, there you go. Now press-
May I ask what this peace deal is about? Because I don't see any defeated country.
Can everyone who is not NATO or NATO partner please?
I'll give it a minute.
Go.
This has just been one thing after another here.
Yeah, of course.
Germany, please hit done. And UK.
Germany not
It's-
only.
Yeah,
UK?
just UK.
How do I?
Top right, confirm and exit.
Confirm and exit. Top right.
Ah, yes, got it. Never mind. Sorry about that. I haven't used to.
Good, we got it. There it is. It's a democratic government. Cool.
There we go.
Okay.
Congratulations, gentlemen.
We need to have a discussion about the future of
Oh,
NATO.
God.
Cheney or Secretary Rumsfeld, could you go speak with the new Greek government and start talking with them about where to go from here?
Yeah, I'll do so.
Also,
Beautiful.
Iran.
Someone needs to speak with the Bulgarians though.
Yes, true.
Troops need to deploy to Iran next.
Hager, can you go speak with the Hungarians for me?
The Bulgarians and
The Bulgarians.
they're in the same DC as the Greeks.
Yeah, just
just
go
go
hop
talk to
down
them.
there. You guys can talk to them. All right, regarding the future of NATO, now we have just seen yet another example of why the future of NATO and the world is an
Fucking hell.
continuous one. We just had to fight a mainland European power that devolved into fascism. Now, the Australians proposed and suggested that it might be time for us to expand NATO outside of Europe. Now, the suggestion that the Chinese might take this the wrong way is very true, and we do have to worry about the possibility of that pushing them into the arms of the Russians, but the other option is for us to keep the old systems, the ones that have allowed for this modern world to exist. So I mean, this is a talk that NATO needs to have. What do we want to do?
We need to.
We need to. I
guess so.
I think we can't take respect. We can't take any precedence for Chinese feelings. I mean, we need to counter this growing threat to the Soviet Union. So
we already work with these nations. They might as well be a part of our alliance because they're already
How does
partners.
Australia have? What does Australia?
There's
have to
not
do with
explicit
Soviet Union?
deals that would allow for us to be called into a war with them, though. In some cases, not all, but some.
In some, but we should. We're already allied to them. We're already having close military ties, close economic ties. Why can't we take this step now and work even further closer? It's only the next logical thing.
I must agree that it's pointless worrying too much about the Chinese opinions. They've already proven that they are perfectly happy to place their forces directly opposite us when we are trying to support a breakaway part of a pretty
We could work
abusive
together in the
state.
following months then to turn NATO into a global treaty organization.
Yeah.
I would be willing to.
It would be the
also-
bastion of Western and democratic values throughout the world and be what we use to keep one another safe.
There does seem to be general happiness with the idea of also expanding the influence of the Commonwealth, so perhaps we can use that as a vehicle through which to perhaps bring more people on side.
I mean,
Even if they
talking
don't
to
immediately join the
Commonwealth countries to join like a GTO system, certainly. But I mean, let's do a formal NATO vote on this because I mean, this is just such a huge thing out of RP. Are we missing any NATO members right now?
We
I
have
think so.
non-major members in here, like Cuba.
They're a democracy.
They are a democracy, but they're not NATO. I mean, for the main NATO members, like the current NATO members. Or have we got everyone?
Let me just go and check. I think we have everyone. Yeah.
Okay, let's do a roll call vote, which is for the expansion of NATO outside the European bounds to create like a global system.
Yes.
Poland? Well, you're not NATO anymore, are you? Never mind. UK?
Yes.
Germany?
I'm in.
Wait 1 second. Argentina is having an emerging outlook of communism. We need to send volunteers to the.
True. Let's send volunteers immediately to that Western government. We gotta do RP posts for this shit though. But like, goddamn, there's no time.
Yeah, I understand.
Yeah, I think we should maybe do a NATO thing after session ends. That would make more
I
sense,
agree.
I feel.
We'll have a whole talk about where we go from this. Fucking Christ.
I've already sent volunteers.
I'll send them, and I'm gonna write the statement right now. This actually, God damn it.
Are we sending volunteers to Argentina?
Yes.
Yes.
The Western ones, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Make
I
sure you
try
put
to
it
come
in
here
RP
for this
chat.
reason.
Yeah, don't send volunteers to communists.
Yeah, we don't like.
Yeah, no, of course, man. You know, I'm gonna make an. I came here exactly for that reason because I was forewarned, like, but we started just as alright.
Okay.
Yeah, but I mean, not even Argentina has done a post about it, so you know we can do a post about something that's not happened officially yet.
Is there a player on Argentina?
Yeah,
There he is. He just
I
went
told you
communist. We technically need his permission to send volunteers as well. But he also did he not do any RP posts though?
I mean, I don't see any.
Yeah, not about this.
Alright,
I mean, the last post was improvements in the Argentine economy. Hell, he just agreed to a non-aggression pact with me, you know? And then after I left, he started the civil war.
Yeah, he didn't do about the communists.
Oh, damn, we've had so much shit RPs. It's been a while since we've had a game like this. All right,
I've sent June motorized divisions.
Can someone go talk to the GC real quick? Someone go ask Dustin about this and what he wants to make the call on.
Okay, so Bulgaria is not willing to say. I don't know if that's.
We can't
true
hear you. You're bugging out.
Hello.
Yep. What's
Hello?
up?
Can you hear me? Yeah, they're not gonna do anything. Greece just wasn't talking, so I couldn't get much dialogue there. With the Bulgarians, they say they're gonna get Russian support, and they're talking about nukes. So who knows?
All right, so
They threaten nukes.
Yeah, they were like, we have something with
Western
nukes. I heard
liberal, what
nukes.
the fuck?
Yeah, I know. It's crazy. It's the same guy who is wanting to get nukes. I wouldn't be surprised if he just started researching nuclear technologies without.
He doesn't have the tier for that.
I don't know if he does have nukes. So I mean,
Entire Bulgaria could be taken in like 6 hours. It would be quicker. We would take them quicker before they would press the red button.
Oh, for fuck's sakes.
Or the Iran player. They think.
Nope. I say we all do a intervention.
Yep, I would say so.
We need that player's permission, though. It's in the rules. We can't just do that. I mean, the thing, like, the issue here right now is there's a bunch of players who are doing not the proper RP to do any of the fucking things they're doing, and they're being so unreasonable. It makes no sense for us to not intervene, but we also can't because the rule set doesn't allow it.
I'll go and ask Argentina if we can send volunteers, alright? I'll tell you guys what he thinks.
We've got someone speaking with Dustin right now about Argentina. The issue is like the Bulgaria stuff. Like it doesn't.
Yeah, well, Bulgaria also broke the rules. Or well, I guess.
Yeah, there's been a lot of rule breaks there already. I mean, the Macedonia thing was a huge fucking rule break.
Yeah, I don't know what the GC hasn't done anything.
He's not used to this. The main GC isn't here today. He has very good reasons not to. I had to pull in someone who doesn't fucking play MD to GC this.
Yeah, I talked to Dustin. He said he doesn't really know what to make the call with.
All right, I'll be right back. I think we did make a big call here. All right, let me mute my stream real quick.
My next question is actually going to be geared towards Miss Chula and you, Momo.
All right, guys. I'm gonna end it here today. We are gonna call this game right now. We need a lot of talks to happen for this game. It's gotten out of hand very badly, so we're gonna be ending here for today. This has been a bit of a shit show. I do apologize. I may still do that stream I promised later for Kaiser Redux. I don't know. I'm gonna have to talk to a lot of people. I don't know how long this will take to figure out what's going on with this game. If I do have the time this evening, I will do that stream for Kaiser Redux. If not, it will be next Saturday. I will stream the Grand Campaign tomorrow morning, Victory RP tomorrow afternoon. Hope everyone enjoyed. It's been a while since we've had a quality game like this, but they happen. So, all right, guys. I'll catch you later.